What's up, man? Welcome
up,
to
man? How's it
History for Foos podcast.
How's it going?
Butch Escobar,
Hello?
me, Felipe Esparza. What's going on, man? First of all, thank you very much for taking us all back. I know we've been broken up for a while and we took a little break, but here we are, man.
Yeah, we took a
It's
little
not
break.
hard. It's not easy coming up with History for Foos podcast with somebody who lives in Fremont.
Sort of. It's Berkeley. It's kind of. Our Oakland, next to Oakland. Fremont's fair enough. It's East Bay, I guess.
You know what? When I know we're doing the history of Latin cinema, but this had to do with Latin people that were in cinema. You know, Culture Clash. They're like a sketch comedy group from the '90s, late.
Vaguely.
They had their own show on Fox. It was called Culture Clash, and they would show comedians. I think my friend Carlos Oscar did stand up on their show. Willie Barcena.
Oh, okay.
They were featured comics, but they were like in living colors. It was like, but with three.
Wait, what channel was it on?
Fox.
I do remember this. Again, vaguely, but I do remember it.
But the actors separately have gotten their own success. You know, they have been in movies.
Right.
One of the actors was in Nacho Libre, which was a movie, where Jack Black plays he goes back to his roots,
Right.
and plays a Mexican wrestler.
Right. That's a great movie. I loved that movie.
I liked it. I didn't see too many people complaining. Maybe there was no internet when people say, "Oh, he ain't Mexican."
Right, but I think it was like done. I don't
Right.
think it was done in poor taste. You know what I mean? I wasn't like he put on blackface and walked around and was like, "Hey, look at me, our brown face, I'm Mexican." Like I think it was done in good taste. His Spanish was done very well. He was parodying himself. Everybody else in the film was Mexican.
Everybody, he was the only white dude.
He was the only white dude in the whole film.
That's what made the movie good.
Right.
And they never really said that he was Mexican in the film.
And he's not, and it's not making fun of
But he was
Lucha Libre.
He was born from a priest and a nun, huh?
Something. I think so. I vaguely remember the ending or how it went, but I mean, fuck that movie. I've watched a ton of times. But I do remember wanting to be offended because I didn't know who Jack Black was when it came out. Or I didn't know greatly who he was. So I remember wanting to be offended, but then watching it and going, "This is actually a fucking great movie."
Yeah. I auditioned for that movie. I auditioned for that role of that one of the members of Culture Clash, that one of the priests, his rival, the one that always messed with him.
Right.
Oh,
no shit. Really?
I haven't taken a shit since Easter.
Yeah. Okay. No
So,
shit.
Yeah, some of the movies, only some parts in the movie were not kind of accurate because the corn thing, I think it's a American thing.
What corn thing?
Like tearing up corn the way he loved corn so much.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think you still have to appeal to an audience.
Yeah.
Like, you still have to make it palpable for the people that you want to watch it. And I think that's one of the problems that we have, like, with our culture and identity when it comes to, like, Latins in film. Because it's like...
A lot of people might complain, like, I like Jack Black in that movie. It was good.
Right.
But, like, somebody might complain, well, how come they didn't use a real Mexican for that? For Nacho Libre, but the Hollywood answer, you want the Hollywood answer?
Yeah.
Or the one that answer you want to hear?
Right, because who's good? Honestly, I swear to God.
It's like this, man. Jack Black was already, he's been around, man. He was in a bunch of movies where he played a douche. He was in that movie where they sing rock with those kids.
School of Rock.
School of Rock. And he was already in Shallow Hell before this movie came out. So he was known.
Right.
But at the time, there was not a Mexican actor in America that could have played Nacho Libre and still get people to go watch the movie. Because I'll be honest, dog. A lot of people, I want to go back to the guy from Culture Class, Herbert. He played a movie where he came out as a ghost of Cantinflas
Right.
to this immigrant woman, and that movie was like a very social movie, but it was a good movie.
Right.
But nobody went to go see it.
Right.
So there it is, man.
Well, and that's the thing, man, is that
Mexican moviegoers and black moviegoers, we want to go. They like going to see movies where they go recognize the people. They don't go by, well, this guy, I'm gonna go only because he's Mexican. You gotta really like be kind of for really, really famous to sit out there and go watch a movie.
Right.
With popcorn.
Right.
Or it has to be like go viral nowadays
Right.
on TikTok.
Well, and that's the thing, man, is like, I will say this, like, damn, like, we are underrepresented. We need to be put up more, but at the same time, we need to go to the theaters more. We need to, like, show up and watch TV, our own TV shows more. But until we could do that, the majority, I said, we take up a large chunk of viewership for film and TV.
For real, bro, we control the bootleg movies too.
Right. Yeah, that's true too. But the large majority still belongs to white people. So if you're gonna make Nacho Libre with the whole cast, entire Mexican people,
you think moviegoers are all like white or all Mexican?
the majority is white. The majority
all over
is
the
white.
country.
Yeah, I think it's either in the.
You never been to the.
It's either in the
you never
book that
been to
you
the
gave
Montebello AMC, huh?
What's that?
The Montebello AMC. I saw a lady in that movie theater change a diaper, bro. I didn't hear one Karen in there complain.
Right. So I don't know if it's the book that you told me to read, the one we read together, Inventing Latinos.
Just tell her about this ghetto-ass movie theater I went to, bro.
What?
I went to a ghetto-ass movie theater, bro, where I think people took their socks off, but you couldn't tell the difference between their socks and the fucking popcorn, bro.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
Hey, bro.
Oh.
I know we're gonna talk about Latin cinema, but it's also the history of film, and I think everybody that ever watched a movie or been to a movie theater, their movie experience, it's also a history of films that he watched, because I think if you talk to a person that likes going to the movies every week,
right,
if you really sit down with them, they're gonna talk to you about the movie, his whole movie experience.
Right.
So we're giving you also a history of the movie experience.
Sure.
Because every country, because now everybody has popcorn.
Right.
Popcorn.
Right.
But man, I bet you go to another country, they probably have like insects,
Maybe.
A little bag of fucking mosquitoes or something.
Right. I don't think so.
Like in Mexico, there's a place where you can buy a little box of crickets. You eat them.
Really? In the movie theater too?
Yeah.
Or because I think like also
not at the movie theater, I'm just joking about
sure.
outside.
I mean, I'm venturing to say that movie going started in America. And the experience started here. And if the experience started with popcorn, then that would have led to other places having popcorn. But if that's not the case, then yeah, probably everybody has their own snacks.
I know, 'cause I'm pretty sure popcorn, movie theaters, and then one day, I guess, I don't know what year, but we'll find out one day, that when the fucking pizza showed up to a drive-in movie theater.
Right. The back of my trunk.
Which I never had.
You never had pizza at the drive-in movie theater?
Not from the snack bar.
No. Yeah, no, okay. All right.
I've had KFC with carburetor.
Bro, every time I go to the drive-in movie theater, a pizza is fucking mandatory. Like, I'll go get a whole pizza at Mountain Mike's and fucking roll
this
up.
fool said Mountain Mike's.
Roll up with the hey man, I'm not even fucking with you. When I went through my breakup because I couldn't control myself in public places, I would roll up to the drive-in with a big old pizza and fucking a jar of ranch, and I would just watch movies and eat ranch pizza.
Without telling us too much about the breakup, if you can explain the breakup with a movie scene from a movie, which movie would it be? That'd be a better way of asking somebody without telling us.
I mean, it's a scene in every movie, but I just can't remember what movies it is in. It's that scene.
That scene?
It's that scene when you come home early.
How about that scene in Heat where Al Pacino showed up?
Yeah.
And he snagged his television and took off?
Was the guy in the house when he did that?
Yeah, he was walking in. He looked around, and he noticed that the toilet seat was up.
Right.
And then he put his gun out. He goes, "I'm gonna shoot the closet," and the guy came out.
It was sort of like that, minus the guy in the closet and the gun. He was in my bed, and when I walked, because he looked like me but white. He had tattoos and a beard. Hot second, I was all, "Oh, I'm in the bed." Wait a minute, I'm not in the bed. That's so. It was like a whole like I come home from early from
Not only was she breaking up with you, bro, she was telling you also, "Don't think I'm not gonna find no one just like you."
She certainly did.
That's always your part when a woman breaks up with you, and then she goes date a person who looks like you. But that means that he might just look like you, but there must be something that he has that you didn't have. What was that? Oh, this guy used to open the door for me. He didn't throw the keys over the car.
He's Butch 2.1. I'm Butch 2.0. He's Butch 2.1. Stronger, faster, smoother, or something maybe. I don't know.
2.0, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm good with it because I ended up with like a hotter girlfriend and a better life. So
You ever had a homie that was with a woman and they had she had kids already, but then he's all butthurt, all hurt. I could like say stuff like he's a real he was a real husband and shit. Yeah, man, it's gonna be tough on the kids. Bro, it's been tough on the kids before you were there, when you were there, and now.
Instant family, bro. I had a buddy who was like that, dude, who would jump. He was like an instant family chaser. Like he would jump from woman to woman that had a kid, and he would try to start asserting himself as like a father figure.
I'm gonna do that into a bit, man. You know what? The advantages of dating a woman with kids that aren't yours is that after you break up, you don't gotta say things like, "Man, that's fucked up for the kids."
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's like 80%.
You're like, you go, "At least I'm getting out of here. It was just a breakup, no child support."
Yeah, dude, that's. I used to have a joke where I was like, I'm breaking up with my girlfriend. I'm trying to give her full custody of my kid. I can't remember. It's a stupid joke. Never mind. But it was like, it wasn't her kid.
When I was a kid, bro, and we would see somebody. It's here in LA. I will see somebody like you with wearing no socks, right?
I have socks. They're just slow.
That's not a sock check.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Sock check, bro.
I'm failing a sock check right now. Cause
when I was a kid, though, we was like I forgot. I don't know. If we made fun of kids with no socks,
right?
But I think it's the West Coast. Well, since I live in California, LA, and we're like this. Look at this dirty ass surfer, eh?
With no socks on.
We always thought it was a surfer because when they had no socks.
Gross. That's gross.
I always thought it was like, oh, they put a surfer. He had no fucking socks.
That's so fucking gross.
Bro, I'm that guy, bro. Sometimes I wouldn't wear no socks. That I will, you know, some people slide, they slip on their shoes.
Yeah.
I slip it with my feet in my shoes. I think I twisted my ankle at Be Real TV like that.
Dude, no.
I twisted my ankle standing up, bro. They went, whoa.
You gotta wear socks, bro. You gotta wear socks. I used to have a friend who would wear the Vans that you slip on. And his feet would stink. I go, what the fuck, bro? Wear some socks. He goes, you're not supposed to wear socks with these shoes. And I'm like, you're supposed to wear socks with every shoe. Socks are like feet condoms. You know what I mean? They're there to protect, like, so your shoe doesn't get all fucked up from sweat, and then your feet, you know what I mean? It's like you just wash them out. It's like they're like garbage liners for your shoe.
I remember when I was doing a Sacramento Punchline, I was there with Rodrigo and some other comic from the Bay, and that dude showed up, bro. That dude that was like the Scottish comedian, and we regret that. That's when he had nowhere to go, bro. He was like hanging out forever, bro. Like this comic, you know,
Are you
like
talking about the guy who we found out later was not a Scottish comedian?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Well, it's better we don't know his name right now.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't do it. Yeah.
So He took it. Rodrigo, that fool took. I don't know why he spent the night. We let him, I guess. His feet stunk, bro.
Hey,
And he had boots on.
I can't. You got to put those on. Get out of my. Nah,
I think that's what happened. Rodrigo said.
I had a roommate that.
Dude, like,
yeah,
if you're gonna be like, if you already know, you should at least go. Hey, man, I'm gonna go in the shower, man. I'm gonna throw my socks away. Throw your boots away, bro.
When I was in charge of the house and I had to bring roommates in, I would ask them what their foot hygiene was like, because like other rooms had to like. I was the only one that had my own room. Everybody else had to share rooms. And I used to think it was gnarly if you had to share a room with some dude who had smelly feet. Like, it's just not fair. There's dude. I have an audience here. Check this out. You want a good life hack? I used to have the worst sweaty feet. Awful, horrible. Like it was like
You used to leave footprints of stink, huh?
footprints of stink. And I went to the doctor and I'm like, I can't fix this. There's no way. My feet can't stop sweating. And he goes, put deodorant, antiperspirant on your feet, on the bottoms of your feet. And ever since I've done that, never had smelly feet, and always get compliments that it smells like laundry detergent when I take my shoes off.
Bro, before I was working as a successful comedian, like working every week or knowing where I'm gonna be at, which is always the greatest thing. That's when you know you're doing good in comedy, when you know where you're gonna be at.
When you can look at your schedule
and you know
the next 2-3 months.
At least you know, man.
Yeah.
It could be two. It could be
the
two
best
shows.
thing ever. Yeah.
Two shows. If you're a comedian watching this show right now, and you're asking yourself, how could I book gigs? Before you even start thinking about booking gigs, you gotta know how to book gigs. Okay, and this has nothing to do with writing to the club or getting the club to notice you. This is very important. Right now is January. You book yourself for shows in September right now. You tell a club owner, hey man, I know that you have an open slot in September. I'm gonna be coming over there, and you try to get that day in September. And then you go, you call up another club, and go, hey man, I heard you have an open over there and whatever, right? And then that gig is like 2 hours from the gig you just booked in September, and you get that gig also in September. So you book yourself backwards.
Coming back towards you.
Coming back towards you.
Towards the date.
Towards your date. So you can have at least those gigs already lined up, and you're gonna worry about how I'm gonna eat in September, how I'm gonna eat in October. This is in January, man, because those are the hardest days to book. September, man, kids are going back to school. A lot of people don't really want to go out. It's the end of the summer.
Yeah,
but you gotta
you gotta be cognizant of what public at large is doing.
Yeah, and you gotta take advantage of that, man. And you fucking book those gigs, and then the gigs, man. If you're like a comic right now who works, who say, well, I'm funny. I might not go viral, but I'm funny. All right, man. You might do a lot of gigs where they don't pay you. So you start getting gigs where they do pay you. Say there's a gig that pays you $50. So right there, that's $50, man. That's fucking. That's a trip to San Jose and back, motherfucker.
And if you could do 2 of those in one night, sometimes what I'll do is like if I'm going to San Jose, right, and I go, well, I'll give you $50. Okay. So what I do is I'll go. So can I go up first then? Sure. Boom. I hit that one. Then I go find another guy. Hey, what's up, man? You mind if I do your show on Tuesday, Wednesday night? Yeah, but it only pays $50. Okay. Do you mind if I go up somewhere in the middle? Sure. If you go pull a third one for another $50, that's $150 right there.
And when you get booked by this guy for $50, tell him, can I do it? Ask him if you could do it not this next month, because you're gonna get a no. You tell him, can I do it 2 months from now? And then you got those $50 lined up when you're in town. Don't ask for like next month, because then like he probably already booked, and then he tells you no on that. It's gonna feel like you're begging. So you tell him, can you book me 2 months from now, man, in the near future? And that fool, oh yeah, man, I got an opening date over here, and it might be far away, but at least you got it, man, because you don't want to go do a spot for $50 at this place, and then you come back the next week and do it for free. Nah, man, you just don't go back to that place.
And that's a day you're not gonna have to hustle in the future.
Don't go back to that place.
Here's the thing. I obviously don't have it like Felipe has it, so I have to hustle really hard for every date that I have. I have to call up, I have to email, and not get responses. Like I have to do everything by myself. So one of the things that I do that I make sure that I do is like I do exactly what you just said. Because to me, even if I get all these dates, like let's say I get 3 dates talking to someone now, or 2 dates in September, and then maybe 3 dates in the month before that, and then the month before that. As I'm moving along now, when I get to, let's say now I'm February, when I get to March, now I only have to fill a few dates in March because I already prior to the present moment had booked those dates. And it's not a hustle anymore. It's not a like, oh shit, I got an empty fucking month. Like, cool, I got all these dates. I leave a few empty, just in case something pops up, someone calls, but yeah, it leaves you more time to focus on what you need to focus, which is joke writing and creating, being a creative person.
Has anybody ever do you know like any podcast? History for Foos podcast.
What's up?
Food podcast also, and Yeah Man, and Los Podcasts del Norte, or any Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan reality, his podcast, or Joe Diaz. Have any of the podcasts ever like give a promoter's name and told him to go and get this guy?
No,
He's been booking for years.
I don't think so.
And nobody said, "Hey man, you guys want to get gig?" Because a lot of starting comics, they need to do these gigs, man. They need, they pay, right? And
you have to go through the ranks.
Yeah,
you have
man.
to go through the ranks. You have to go from you have to start out with nothing. There's a comic that I won't speak of in my scene.
'Cause I will get booked with people that they will always, these are gigs, and they'd always paid me no matter what. I always got my money.
Right.
But there's a lady I mentioned her name. There's a lady that booked me all the time. Her name is Pat Wilson.
I know Pat Wilson.
Never met her. Never
Right,
spoke.
yeah.
She just will call me out of the blue. Felipe, you want to do such and such, and they were always like 3 hours away from each other, and they always paid decent, and they're always far off
Right.
in a city where the gas station is farther than the town, or
Right.
civilization is
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Or those people over there, they drink, they get high off battery fluid,
Right. Yeah.
They sell
You mean?
pets.
Are you talking about Reno and like Sparks and like areas outside of Sacramento, Oildale, places like that? You know what I mean?
Talking about Ridgecrest.
Ridgecrest. Where's Ridgecrest?
I think it's over there by it's a Navy base called It's a Navy base in Ridgecrest.
Are you talking about like San Diego?
No, bro. This is Navy base.
Uh-huh.
It's not even near the fucking ocean. It's in the middle of nowhere, bro.
That's interesting.
It's called China Lake.
China Lake. Okay.
Right, Philip? China Lake in Ridgecrest? Yeah, China Lake.
Wow.
In Ridgecrest. It's a Navy base.
Okay.
It's a Navy town, bro.
Right.
And you got to drive in, and there's military police. And I don't know how it is now because when they took I don't know if it was Bill Clinton or President Obama or the last 4 presidents, one of them, when they were doing cuts, they shut down a lot of the bases. But it's still there, I think, right? Yeah. They had a Vons, they had a Burger King, a McDonald's. Huh? No, yeah, but it's far, right? And they will put us up in like a general's home. Like I have my own house, bro.
Whoa.
With a living room, a kitchen, 2
Who
bedrooms.
put you up there? Pat did?
Pat Wilson.
Damn.
Or the
no
base.
shit.
So other comedians had a room like that.
That's fucking fancy. I love when that
And I was sober as hell back then.
Dude, that is fancy.
And it was a dude. And the people would come to the show, bro. It was like, and they would just drive back to their homes in the military. And then some people who had military passes, they would be allowed to come into the show, but it was all military inside that place. And um, I was there with a comedian, Annie McKnight. She headlined one time. This comedian named Jeff Brown headlined one time. I think I went there with Fluffy one time. I went there with Joy Medina. I remember this comedian, man, he hooked up with a chick, and she was one of those hip hop white chicks. Yeah. She was wearing Chants and Timberlands, bro. And a fucking.
Was it like different, like his music and comedy or something?
No, man, she was wearing that, bro. Right. She was a fan. Oh. And the comedian hooked up with her. And she was sitting on a stool, right. And he was standing up, and she was still taller than him.
Wow! Holy shit!
And then I remember I picked him up because he ended up spending the night at the trailer home, and I picked him big ass home, bro. He stood over there.
Right.
He was walking out of the house like he was walking out of the house like the wrestler, bro. Didn't get no sleep.
All fucked up.
He looked at me and said, "Hey, Felipe, how come you didn't stop me, bro? I never seen you so happy last night. I don't want to be the killjoy."
Right? Yeah.
You were happier than Pedro Gonzalez working with John Wayne.
Stop someone from doing something like that.
Yeah, so that was Pat Wilson, man, hooked me with a lot of gigs. A lot. Like I got paid bills with those. And there was another promoter out of Denver, Colorado that I never met.
Right.
Ever in my life. And he would book a show at the 4th MB in San Diego. I forgot his name. His name was probably Philip or Ken or Kill or Kiri or some Irish name. Right. Kylie.
Yeah, I never met what's that guy's name that used to do the what were those called? The Tribble runs. I never met Dan Tribble.
Or David Tribble.
David Tribble, whatever the fuck his name is. And I would do shit like because there were barely enough money to like get home. Like you'd have, like if you did it right, maybe you had $50 after gas. And there are times where I just like.
It's one of those gigs where the comedian tells you, "Bro, you can make a lot of money in merch."
Yeah, that's. And then there's. And
when I would hear that, all right, so they were not there to laugh.
Right. Yeah. So
they don't have a Kmart nearby. So
the one thing about Tribble was like, all right, if I needed to go out and do something, then I would do it. After a while, though, it got tough. But I would tell him, "Oh, I got in a car wreck. I can't make it," and then he'd be like, "You're never fucking working for me again." And then he'd hit me up a month later. "Hey, you want to come out again?" I was like, "Who you remember?" Like, I guess not.
I never got to do those gigs, man.
Those were rough. Those were fucking rough.
I never got to do any gigs with Dugard.
I did those. I did one of those.
I never got to do those gigs with.
You're talking about the international gigs, like going overseas, like
never.
To Japan and stuff? Yeah, I did.
AK Productions.
I did one with him, but then I did separate ones. Who's AK?
No, the name of the production. Some guy named, his last name was Marconi. AK Productions, and they would book people overseas. And then there was a hell gig, bro. The manager I found out of this club in Seattle, Billiards, he was booking a show. It was a one-nighter, bro. It was a hell gig. You fly out to Guam, do the one-nighter there at the military base.
In Guam. You got to fly to Guam and do a one-nighter.
Yeah, and the next day in the morning, you fly back.
Fuck no.
It was like, I never did it, guys, but I heard it paid $900.
That's not worth it.
Or $700.
That's not even worth it.
Bro, let me tell you, if you're listening, the flight was 17 hours or 9. I don't know how many hours it was. And imagine this. You land, you spend more time flying than you do in Guam.
Absolutely. You spend 18 times more time flying than you do in Guam.
So you land, your ears are still plugged from being jet lagged.
Good Lord.
You got to sit down through a dinner we're the military guys trying to give you rules
Yeah,
that
the
you ain't
briefing.
gonna follow.
You gotta do the briefing.
Once
Yeah.
you hear the promoter tell you, oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah, all the time. Or you just go up and go. I mean, it's funny because they go, "Hey, don't be dirty. Don't do this. Don't
But
do that."
I've never done a military gig like those. I've done military gigs where I show up and I show up straight to the club.
Right.
But I also done military gigs like in that were, oh my God, man, where there's nothing over here. Then you drive in and there's a gate.
Like 29 Palms.
There's a gate. I was in Mississippi.
Okay.
And all they had was Black Hawk. It was a Black Hawk helicopter school.
Ah.
So they had all choppers from
That's fucking rad, though.
from everywhere, bro.
To me, I would be like,
from chopper from everywhere, military homes, and I got to meet only the guy in charge of the military base every time I went to a military base. I met like the guy in charge of the whole base
right.
at the time, and he had the up too, and we waited, and I did have to show everything, my ID, a lot of stuff, because the military police at the border. I say the border because you're going into their world.
Yeah, pretty much.
He pretty much doesn't know anything about no show.
Well, you're not in you're not in sovereign territory.
He needs to still
like
look up the show because he's not invited, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as soon as I walk in, this black woman runs up to me. I wish I could go to your show, but I told all my friends, and like she's giving me a hug and she kisses me, and I in the cheek, all happy, this older lady, and I go inside the military store.
Oh, the PX.
Everything, bro.
Yeah, it's dope. And it's cheap.
Yeah, but the show was they already knew about the show because I guess they have shows there all the time. Was this cool promoter? I got to meet her at one of the bases. We just got there, bro. Finesse Mitchell, me, and this other dude. And the other dude went up first, and Finesse Mitchell went up second. Did like 20, 15, 30, I guess. And then I went up there at the end and did an hour, bro. Like a solid hour.
How do they like you?
Killed it, bro.
Great.
Didn't change nothing. And I did all the jokes that are in my special, my third special right now.
Did they tell you to change stuff?
No, they didn't tell me.
Like,
They didn't tell me anything. They didn't tell me anything.
That's cool. That's great when they're.
And but I was roasting Foos too, bro. I kind of felt bad, but not I felt bad. But it was funny though, man. The guy, the DJ, he had alopecia.
Okay.
So his face was kind of white right here and white right here.
Right. Yeah.
He goes, man, the homie still has camouflage and shit.
That's a good joke. That's
And then his wife came up to me and slapped me.
Did she really?
Nah.
Oh, okay, I was like, dang.
He said, get my husband's name out your face.
Get my husband's name out your fucking mouth.
But that was like a military gig where I got paid like good, bro, because through my agent and all that, tax percentages, and they had hotels in the base.
Yeah, that's how it was when I went to Japan. When I've done the military runs, we've always stayed at the bases.
When we were about to do the show, bro, right at one of the bases, and they were to do his tattoos, and right away, bro, I spot him like a pimp spots the next hooker to put on the fucking on the track. He goes, I looked at him with, hey man, what's up, man? And they started pushing a broom. He looked at me, goes, whatever y'all need, man.
I got you.
I spotted him. I spotted him,
bro.
And then the other comedian went. The other comedian went to go. They went to go hang out with him and came back, and we had a lot of fun. But it was funny because I saw him pushing a broom.
Right.
And then we talked to him. He said that his mom is in the military, so he got the job from. He's one of the guys that he works in the base. Because they have people that work in the base that are not military also.
Yeah.
So he's one of the guys just pushing a broom, bro, being slick.
Yeah, they're just government employees. Is what they usually call, or civilian employees. That when I was in Japan, we did we did a show, and then they took us over to this nightclub that was on the base, and I was like, "There's a lot of military people here. So it's probably gonna be all military." It was all the dudes were military, all the girls were government employees. Most of the girls were government employees. So like it was a pretty live club. It was going off pretty good, but then it got pretty scary at night because the guy I went with was flirting with the only girl left in the room. So there was like 5 or 6 Marines just circling around him. I was like, I think we should go, bro.
Fort Huachuca.
Is that what you did
in Arizona?
In there.
I did Fort Huachuca, and then I did one in Alabama and Mississippi. I was in a lot of. I did all the bases I did were in America, no overseas. I did like over 20, I guess.
Oh wow!
Because I went to one that was in Syracuse, somewhere over there. I guess that's where the fucking where the British took over Pawtucket in the American Revolution in northern New York. So that's a base that when they took over that base right after the British left, I guess. It's been there forever.
Oh wow!
And then I went to a fort in Brooklyn, bro, right under the bridge.
Yeah.
And that one where the British came in through there to take New York. So that's there was a big old fat cannon, bro. Like when Washington took it over again. I think that was Fort Hamilton or Fort Dixie. I don't know which. I forgot the names. But right there, bro, that was a good guy, man. We met the guy because at every military gig we would meet our guy.
Right.
So our guy for that show.
You had a guy that kind of walked. Yeah. We had that.
He's like a Carlo Mencia fan, and so he liked me right away. Crazy Italian white dude. We went to his house, Finesse Mitchell and I, and we met his wife, and he's another outside employee. You know, he works there, and I think maybe he was in the military, but now he's not in the military anymore, but he just works there. And he lives in what part of New York? He lives in the Brooklyn side, bro, but over the bridge, we saw a bridge right over us, the hotel we stood, and he lives in the neighborhood, bro. I think it's a Jewish neighborhood, Wayside, or I don't know what the name of it. Bayside. Yeah, Bayside. And he bought his apartment, bro. Like, his apartment is no bigger than this, and he bought it they handed it over, bro. Like, he bought it from somebody in his family, and then when he dies, he's gonna hand it over to their family.
Oh,
you can't buy homes over there because there ain't no homes.
Right.
So
it's all apartments.
So the whole apartment is theirs. Then you go to another house, another apartment. There's another apartment.
Okay.
They pay a lot of money that apartment worth.
Right.
He could sell it for a cool $800,000 if he wants, or $1 million. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure when they
Shit, dude.
and the inside, well, then look like, if you're listening, bro, it doesn't look like $1 million.
I mean,
Yeah, we went up to the roof with him, bro, and it was almost 4:20, so we had to.
hell yeah, dog.
And I saw the train pass by, and then we went back to do the gig real quick.
Right.
And then he picked us up again. We went back to his home. Then we cruised the neighborhood. It looked like where Al Pacino killed that cop and Klutsky in fucking Godfather.
Oh, McCluskey or something. Yeah. That restaurant.
Anyway, man, history for fools.
What's up?
Okay, we're warmed up now, man.
We are warmed up.
Yeah, man. You look tired, bro.
I am
Are you
not.
warmed up?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I have this sweater on, so I'm nice and comfy.
You look a big old cinnamon roll, bro.
These are very comfortable sweaters. Merch plug, by the way. Check
Show
out.
them the back, bro, if you can.
Yeah, let me.
Así perdió el diablo.
Oh. How's that? Boom. Check out.
Pick up the hoodie. There it is. All right, cool. That's the Big Fool Tour hoodie. If you guys are in the business or
Check it out
wanna,
at FelipeEsWorld.com.
yes, shop. History for Fools, man.
History for
We're back,
Fools.
man, and I know we took a little I don't know what we're talking about, but we just drifted
We
off.
drifted off. It's cool though. I mean, that's the thing about a podcast. If we just sat there and was like, here's like the course and and here's this like what we're learning and it's like fuck these fucking assholes, dude. But it's like two guys learning and sharing what we learn.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The history of hemorrhoids coming up soon.
The history of you have hemorrhoids? Do you partake in the
No, but
hemorrhoidal experience?
The best joke I ever heard about hemorrhoids was from I won't say the joke because I can't remember the comedian's name, so we're just gonna move on.
Okay, all right.
Bro, the first time I used to have my bit about having hemorrhoid for the first time is the first time you have hemorrhoid for the first time, that's when a heterosexual man loses his virginity.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Because, man, let me tell you, man, for the first 3 nights, I didn't want to tell nobody because I felt like I was being sodomized by a ghost every night.
Yeah, it's awful.
Because I would go to sleep. I would go to sleep at night like Tinkerbell. And in the morning, woke up like Captain Hook.
Yeah, dude. I had to go on stage one time, like hard flare up all day. Had to get up on stage. There's a video on my YouTube channel. Check it out, Butch Escobar. That I have a set where I just like, because I was like, don't talk about hemorrhoids. Don't talk about hemorrhoids. But my asshole was in so much pain that it was like, I just fucking went off, dude. This is the worst. It feels like someone took a saw to your butthole and then poured fucking lime and salt in the wound, dude. It's fucking and then every time you take a shit, it's like painful, and then to wipe, it's painful, and then you get the shower, it's fucking painful. Oh, yeah, bro. I fucking no one ever told me about that. No one ever told me about. You know where it comes from?
No.
Sitting on the toilet too long.
Or being on a plane too long.
Or being on a plane does it. Like just sitting for a long time. Truckers get them all the time, but toilets are the biggest culprit because it's like you think about you squeezing your butt. It's like you ever get up, you have that ring on your butt, you have that toilet ring, all that blood's pushed in and just sitting there in your asshole, and that's why you get a hemorrhoid because it's a little vein. It's like the doctor told me like this. She said, when you take a water balloon and you tie it, and there's that little bubble of water right there because it has nowhere to go. And that's kind of what happens to your veins. That's what a hemorrhoid is. And I just fucking, it's the worst, bro. I'm sorry to any man who has that.
I think yes, that is crazy, man. I was doing a pod. Robert Schimmel. He goes, I don't understand. Robert Schimmel, I don't understand why they call astronauts and hemorrhoids, Okay. It should be, hey, man, check out these asteroids.
That is, I love Schimmel for.
I murdered the joke, but hey.
Yeah, it's great.
But it has to do with hemorrhoids and asteroids.
They're horrible. They're horrible, dude. We should do a history on hemorrhoids at one time. When hemorrhoids were first invented.
Yeah, bro. Back in the day, they used to put a parakeet in there.
What?
They used to put a parakeet inside.
No.
So their beak could just poke it.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. That's not true. Is it really?
Nah, not true.
Because that's something that would not, like honestly, that's on the cusp of that might actually have happened.
That's almost like when we're talking about the history of the douche rag.
Yeah.
The douche.
Okay, yeah. I never understood the purpose of the douche rag.
Or the contraceptive that was made out of wool or sheep.
Sheep. Did we talk about?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Like the scumbag. That's what my buddy. Because I learned that the first time I learned it, but then I verified it by going on and figuring it and looking it up. But my buddy used to be like, "Don't call people scumbags," and because I was calling this guy a scumbag one time, he's not a scumbag. Don't say that. And I'm like, "Fuck that guy. He's a scumbag." He goes, "That's the worst thing you could call someone." And then he described to me that that it's the old cum at the bottom of a sheepskin condom. And that was just so fucking grossed out by that, dude.
That's
Humans
funny.
are gnarly to
Is douche rag the same thing?
No, douchebag is a douche. Is like I think a douche. I don't. What I mean by I don't understand like what it, because I know that some women are like, you're not supposed to douche. It's not good for you. It's not a natural thing. But I
not.
think it just cleans out your pussy.
See, man, it's not, bro. Like I remember, I don't know what was reading. Man. Oh, I was following this Asian woman or this American woman, and they talked about scent, and she's like a doctor,
Right.
And I remember I shared it, and people were laughing, but I said that when here we are, the history of vagina cleaning, but I said that I said we're that she said that don't
History
don't
of
don't
vagina.
don't use soap or don't use any chemicals
Right.
because I think your body does it itself, you know. It does it
Yeah,
itself.
I mean, that's what I
It's
heard.
kind of like when you cut off when you trim your nose hair too much.
Right.
Now you're stopping dust from going in all the way in because your nostril hair is to filter the dust out that we breathe every day.
Yes, that's its job. So if you cut it all off, it'll fuck
You know
your
what I
nose.
thought? I always thought that what happened when how a vagina got clean, bro. You know, I thought that when a woman fell asleep, her vagina lid will open up like a bat, bro, like labyrinth, and then the little arm will come out and be like this,
And just clean it. It would like it
Like
would
this.
it would like clean itself.
It'll be like this, bro, and then the wings will close back in and go back in there, bro.
And it's like more active on a full moon than like a half moon.
Bro, that's why when women get periods, bro. When the little wing goes back in there, bro, then he has to force himself back in. Sometimes the wing gotta
History
force.
for fools. Vagina clean. The history of vagina cleaning. Yes, in the early times, pussies did it themselves. Now, modern pussies, they're a little different. They don't need to like do so much activity. They just have this built-in, device that just cleans it. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how it works. I wish my butthole did that.
Imagine, yeah, man. I wish that they should make frozen dildos, bro, that you could use when you have a hemorrhoid. Show that little icicle in there, bro.
Because that was what you feel. I know it sounds, to anybody watching this, they're like fucking gay, bro. Or they're like, what the fuck? But if you've ever had hemorrhoids, that's what you want. Like, it's almost what you're imagining, like, that you could do to make it feel better. Like, like a burning. It's like, oh, fuck, the devil found a new hell, and it's in my asshole,
Fool.
and it's burning.
Rodrigo Torres told me that he was spraying a construction site
Yeah,
or something. You know, he's an exterminator by day,
right,
and so he was spraying somewhere, right?
right.
And all right, I'm back. Okay, he said the toilet was full of poop and blood, dog. That the guy of the manager of the construction site, the supervisor, the guy in charge of our employees left a note. Listen, man, if anybody needs help, hit me up, man. We gotta take care of this problem. I know a doctor.
Oh my god.
Imagine being that guy who left that. You gotta go over there and go, yeah, it's me, man.
Well, because I'll tell you, if you have internal bleeding, it's black. Your poop's just black. When you shit blood, it turns black into your poop. So if you can see red blood, this is just let everybody know because I've experienced many asshole problems. If you see red blood in the toilet,
Fucking maricón, eh?
you are one of those, or you have fucking severe asshole problems.
No, I'm just saying it because of your friend will say maricón. If he's watching it, he would have still looked at maricón. I know you this.
If he's watching this right now,
Yeah.
and we're talking about putting icicles up our assholes, he's like, I knew this guy was a
I
maricón.
knew it, eh?
Maricón!
History of inside stories.
Maricón! History of inside stories. It's my old bully. He used to call me maricón all the time.
But people are like, people are watching, listening, going, yeah, man, but get back to the icicle.
Yeah, there's a few guys that are like, tell me more about those icicles.
Yeah, man. Like,
History for fools.
it's funny
Icicles.
like, I remember watching a commercial. Like, you ever have something that you could only tell a friend? I mean, who the fuck are you gonna tell me?
Right.
Why don't you tell a doctor first, eh? Like, you ever
That's
have
so true, right?
like you ever have one of those things you couldn't tell a friend? Let me tell you, man. Fuck a friend. Tell a doctor.
Right. Talk to your doctor.
Nobody wants to hear that story like that. I don't want to hear a story like that.
No.
Somebody comes up to me, Felipe, man. When you go to the bathroom, do they feel like somebody lit a flare in your ass? Come on, bro. I'm walking my daughter to school right now. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, dog. What's going on, Dad? Oh, man, my friend over here, man. He had 4th of July in his ass.
That's what it feels like.
Bro,
That's what it feels like, dude.
I've been to places where I had a hemorrhoid pain, you know, like a while back. Did I show up and everybody thinks I'm mad at them or I'm in a bad mood or something like that?
Right.
But all you gotta notice, man, that I'm sitting sideways.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put this cushion
constant,
right here.
Yeah. It's constant discomfort. It's constant discomfort. It's
Yeah.
like, that's the thing is I had a friend who was the very unlikely candidate to get them, but he got one. And he hit it for like a week. It's like my best friend when, you know, like when we were in high school. It's like we were working at the same job together after high school. And he's like, you know, at that time, you're very macho in your 20s. You know, you're very like, dude, there's nothing wrong with my asshole. You better not even talk about my fucking asshole. And so he was like, he's like, dude, I'm like, what's going on with you, bro? What the fuck is your problem today? And he's like, I have the worst fucking pain in my asshole right now. I can't even fucking begin to tell you, bro. And he started like looking like he was gonna cry. And I was like, oh, you have a hemorrhoid, bro. Like, yeah. And he's like, what is that? And then I explained to him, like I explained earlier, the water balloon thing. And it's heinous. It's fucking heinous, dude. I think the next worst pain would probably be kidney stones.
Or getting kicked in the balls.
And in between those two is childbirth. Like it's like hemorrhoids, and this is according to my mom too. Hemorrhoids, childbirth, and kidney stones. No, she said the kidney stones. Yeah, the kidney stones was worse. Childbirth was bad because I was 11 pounds, and she was in labor for 48 hours. But try not to get hemorrhoids. I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know how you fucking really avoid shit like that, dude. Like, you have to sit down. You have to be on planes. You're on planes all the fucking time.
Don't eat nuts. That's how you avoid them.
Don't eat nuts, especially.
Oh, let me tell you, man. When you don't know what's going on, like this fool keep talking about hemorrhoids. Anyway, so
This is the hemorrhoid segment of the show.
that's funny, man. I talked about that in another podcast, and everybody started giving me advice. But if you're watching this right now, man, we don't. I feel like it's an infomercial now, like, bro. And everybody waiting for the medicine to pop up.
No, we're gonna talk about AIDS.
There's
next.
no cure.
You ever get AIDS on the
dog,
road?
I went to a doctor.
Right.
I had no money. I had no insurance. I had no life, nothing, bro. I was living by Echo Park, and I went to one of the little hospitals, little clinics in the hood.
Yeah.
I don't know if one of those clinics, like just an Asian woman. I went in there,
Okay.
and I told her what's going on. I don't know if she poked around, but it was like you telling your friend. She knew already.
She knew. Yeah.
She gave me a prescription
there's only one thing that'll do that.
She gave me a prescription for stuff that I could have bought over the counter.
Right. Like
and
preparation.
then she charged more.
They be doing shit like that to you, bro. That's what, you gotta look up what they're
I
telling
felt
you.
like the old man. They had me sign here, sign there, sign here.
Yeah, I will say those medicines work though. They take. Then when that pain's gone, Jesus, I could, as I'm talking about my hemorrhoid, I could feel it right now. It's like waking up. It's like this. It's like this. My hemorrhoid right now is like this.
You gotta put the little parakeet, bro. Start punching it.
He's like this. Oh yeah, he's talking about me. Yeah, I'm coming, buddy. I'm coming for you. And I'm gonna wait till you get on that plane to Fort Wayne, and you get into that first show, I'm really, really gonna fucking get you. That's what it's doing right now, bro.
That's
I can
what-
feel it. I can feel it.
That's why you gotta put the little parakeet right now, bro. So you start a little punch, so punch that shit on the way out.
He just eats it. What if he's like, it's like a nut to him. He's trying to crack it.
Imagine, bro, having a broken ankle, horrible one. You haven't went to a doctor yet either,
Right.
and you got hemorrhoids too, bro. And you gotta go to the doctor. That's pretty painful, huh?
Call an ambulance. Call an ambulance and lay on your stomach on the way there. That's all I can tell you, man. That's what I would do. It's worth it. Whatever $10,000, whatever they charge you, $500 for a pillow, take it, bro. A bad ankle and an asshole pimples, not a good day at all, dude.
It's funny, man. That's when you realize your dog knows what's up, and you know he loves you, eh? When he hears you go, ugh, and he's running around the house, the whole house with his ears down, trying to look for help. He's running with the ears down, like this, all nervous. He goes check on you. And goes, oh.
Yeah, you don't know what to do.
He goes to every room looking for people. He goes back with a fucking cushion he ripped. This
He ripped. Sorry, I fucked this up earlier, but you might.
maybe you can sit on this. History for fools, man.
What's up?
Right, man. We're back here. 54. We're already. Let's just start the podcast. The History for Fools podcast. Latinos in cinema. Man, I've been talking about. Imagine, bro, having hemorrhoids during the 1900s, sitting down watching a movie.
You don't know what it is at all? Like you're not aware that this is a thing? No, fuck no.
Then you go tell somebody, oh, the devil's inside you, and they kill you.
How the devil? Yeah, dude. And then they out of the devil. Oh, he complain about it, and they're like, Simmons has the devil in his asshole.
When you were a kid, like did you ever watch the original Dracula, the black and white one, the silent film
Bram
one?
Stoker. I mean, not the one with Nosferatu.
Yeah, the original one.
No,
never
never.
s-
I've never seen that. Ever.
I saw it before on YouTube.
Is it good?
It's fast. It moves fast.
You're interested in it.
And the vampire, he looks like an old vampire.
Did you have a hard time watching black and whites when you were a kid, or were you not like? You didn't
Man, we had a
matter?
black and white TV and we had no choice.
That's okay. All right, because
We had a black and white TV in our room, and then my mom and dad, they had the big old 25-inch color TV with the trophies on top,
Right.
you know, and the fucking high school pictures on top in the living room.
I think a better question would be: did you have a hard time watching old movies when you
No.
were a kid? See, I did. My dad would put on all those John Wayne movies. I've watched.
Oh, I never watched those.
I would be so fucking bored, bro.
My dad was not into that, so we never watched those. We watched stuff like Death Wish, Charles Bronson,
Right.
or The Machine.
Yeah.
Not The Machine, The Mechanic.
The Mechanic, stuff like that. Oh yeah, I saw the old school Mechanic with Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how the movie ends, right?
I don't remember.
He in the movie he's the killer, right? And he's a hired killer. Nobody knows who he is, and then he's supposed to take on this apprentice. Anyway, so something happens along the way. The apprentice kills Charles Bronson,
Oh, okay.
and the movie ends. The movie's ending, and then that fool puts on a cassette that Charles Bronson left behind for him. Play me,
That's right.
and he puts it in. I knew I couldn't trust you.
Oh wow.
I guess I get the last laugh, huh? Something like that. He left him a little message, and then his car blows up.
I don't remember that. I do remember the tape recorder for some reason. But that's my mental block. Is like when I was a kid, old black and white movies weren't fun. And so as I became an adult and kind of learned that there's certain ones that are great, and then there's certain ones that are just,
So you never saw that movie, It's a Wonderful Life in black and white?
I did see that. I didn't like it though.
I love that movie, but I love that movie because I watched that movie so many times. It's like it's my go-to, but now I get it. You know, I get the movie.
Right.
It's more about business. The movie, if you see it from the, it's a music. It's about money and the world, bro. How the world works. But
Do
bad.
you have a hard time with those movies?
Now I watch it going like this, and now at the end, bro, when after at the end and shit, when everybody's thanking him and all that, and then his brother shows up from the army, and I'm like, oh fuck that motherfucker.
Right.
He didn't help the family once.
He didn't do shit except show up.
Show up.
Right.
He goes, and then he had because he was supposed to go to college and see the world, and his brother decided to do something, and he ended up holding the family.
Right. Right.
And then when he was supposed to go back again, the brother came back and said, "Oh, I'm married. I'm gonna start working for my wife's boss, my wife's dad." And he goes to go do that job, and he can't leave no more. Then he comes back at the end, all happy, bro. I would have punched that motherfucker, bro. I would have hit him with something.
Right.
Well, anyways, man, history for fools.
I wonder because like I have a hard time with those movies because there's only white people in those movies.
Well, they're all white people, man.
And as I'm watching this, and I watch them sing, and I watch them be happy.
Even the only black lady in the movie is the lady that works for them and like the cleaning lady.
Right. I remember because so this is a feeling I had. I went to my lady's house, and you know when you go over to some your girlfriend's house or like your wife's family and the dad's watching something and so you all end
and
up
the butler have the attitude, I know.
you have to end up having to watch that shit and the butler has an attitude. We ended up having to watch A White Christmas.
Oh, you didn't like that movie, huh?
I was sitting there with just vial in my mouth, bro. It's just like there's not even a Hispanic person. There's not a black person. There's not an Asian person. And I couldn't help but just be angry at the movie the entire time that I couldn't even focus on what it was about.
For that new comedian that hated that movie too, and he will do a bit talking about, yeah, White Christmas. Of course you guys are happy. You have jackets.
Right. Yeah. That's how I was. Like they're eating food. They're dancing. These are the happiest people on earth.
Somebody's suffering in somewhere else, but they're not showing you that scene.
Right. Huh? And the thing is I couldn't help, but also I'm watching all these white people watch it, and they love it. They love it. They have not one moment does it enter their mind like what's entering my mind, that there's no minorities in this at all, and that's kind of a fucked up thing.
Yeah,
and that
man.
at this time was a very terrible time for for minorities that at the time that this was being filmed. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just too sensitive or something about shit like that, and like I need to chill out because like I was just sitting there with just vile disgust like the entire time. And I mean, I understood why they liked it because I do have a little compassion in that regard. Where I'm like, oh yeah, you fucking, you're white, you're watching this. Like unless I open my mouth and say something, then I'm gonna ruin the night for everybody. But it is like, like it was kind of like, oh man, like you guys just don't even understand.
Philip, we're back.
What's
up,
up?
everybody? Man.
I had a little coffee break.
We're coughing hemorrhoids out now? Okay. Here we go, people, man. Sorry, man. We took you. We started drifting.
Did we go too far with hemorrhoids?
I don't know, man. But anyways, we've been talking about we got off the subject in the last I guess in the last 45 minutes, 48.
Yeah.
But we're back now, and we're gonna talk about get back to what the podcast is about, which is the history for Foos podcast. Right now, earlier you got only Foos, but you got no history.
No history. Well, there's a little pussy history and some hemorrhoid history, pussy cleaning history, and then some hemorrhoid history, and some other history sprinkled in. But you didn't get what you're here for.
Yeah, there was like no oral cleaning. You learn about oral cleaning and all that stuff, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. We have more episodes coming up.
So, what I wanted to say is that there's a lot of Mexican American actors here that were born here in America that actually worked for many, many years before before we were born, and some of them were around when our fathers, our grandfathers, were watching television here in America, because there's a lot of them. But right now we're gonna focus on one guy, and he was probably the first, and this guy inspired Cheech Marin. So we're gonna focus on this actor, and because a lot of people don't know about these people, because a lot of these actors, they were overshadowed by probably like a bigger actor like Cantinflas, or whoever was big at the time, man. But this actor has a grandson that acts. His name is you probably heard of him, Clifton Collins Jr. His grandfather was a big actor. You know Clifton Collins Jr. He's been on everything. He was on Westworld. He played a cool cowboy. He was in 6 Feet Under.
The Last Castle.
He was in 6 Feet Under.
He was in 6 Feet Under too. That's
Yeah,
right.
and The Last Castle. But
Jockey.
he was in a movie where he played a cholo, the principal, with Samuel Jackson.
We're missing one huge one though, and this is like a big deal. He was the prisoner in Capote, which is like
Yeah.
a big, like I think it's like an award-winning movie. If not, it was up for fuck tons of awards at the time.
Who did he play?
saw it.
Capote?
No, he played the prisoner. So Capote is this story about this.
Oh, the actor, yeah. The writer, the author.
He's a writer, and he falls in. He kind of reads the story about these two guys who break into a house and kill his whole family and get away with almost nothing. And so they get caught. They thought that the guy had a lot of shit in his house, and he had a lot of money, and he had nothing. They ended up killing. Anyway, Capote's he's just interested in this prisoner and the story about him and the story, and he interviews him, and he gets the prisoner to love him and like him. But in the end, like, you realize Capote's just using him. It's a fucking great movie. I was like, this movie's gonna be dumb. I'm not really into that kind of thing.
Clifton Collins Jr. is a great actor. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Great actor.
I was his fan since day one, bro. Like in 1994, Clifton Collins Jr. was not called Clifton Collins Jr. He was going by his grandfather's name, which we're gonna get to him too.
Right.
His grandfather's name is Pedro Gonzalez.
And he was Clifton Gonzalez.
Yes, he was Clifton Gonzalez in a movie called The Stone Age. And if you've never seen The Stone Age, if you love Super Bad, you're gonna like this movie more. This movie, it's about a bunch of stoners. You know the old story when you're in high school. Hey man, there's two hot chicks that want to get laid and party. All right, where at? And everybody wants to go to that house. You've been there, right, in high school?
Oh yeah.
Somebody came up to you, man. I know these two chicks that want to get laid. So the movie is called The Stone Age, and it was probably I don't know if it made money, but I saw it, and man, I fell in love with Tack, which was Clifton Collins Jr.'s character, because that fool was the downest fool in that movie, man. He has blonde hair, with pimples. Man, if you watch this movie, you're gonna fall in love. But in the movie, his little small role, man, kicks ass. So
he has 126 movies under his belt.
So long story short, bro, they're casting a movie Blue Beetle.
Okay.
All right, and they're looking for the uncle. So they're auditioning anybody who knows who's Mexican or anybody, whatever, right?
Right.
Anybody who's Latino and who's a good actor. Anybody brown or close to brown. So I found out that I was the same time that I was reading and getting to know the lead actor, which is Cholo from Cobra Kai.
Okay.
The lead actor, Cholo. And he's playing the Blue Beetle. So him and I are reading. They told me that, Felipe, guess who's reading also right next to you? Who? Clifton Collins Jr. And I said, man, why am I even reading? I'm compared to him, I'm gonna be mumbling. So I felt like, he goes, let me tell you, man, that's like you telling me you're going to be, you're batting up right now and they just brought in Kershaw.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You're going to be defending.
Hey, you're a new boxer, and you got to fight Conor McGregor.
I'll beat his ass, bro.
I'll fuck Conor McGregor up.
I'll mind beat him for it, bro.
When you went in a fight with Conor McGregor, you heard it here, folks.
I think Conor McGregor, man, if he were to fight me, he will throw in and he'll probably hit me with 10 fastest punch I ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Which will take all the air out of me.
Okay.
And then he'll start choking me in one of those holds.
Okay.
And then is how I beat him, bro. I start masturbating because I always want to be choked and masturbate at the same time. And I think knowing him, he won't kill me.
You're like,
but he'll hold me just
Daddy,
enough.
Give me more.
I'll go out David Carradine style, bro. I had that, that when you masturbate, you have that fixation of being strangled.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that.
Because he'll get grossed out. Right. And you never heard of that?
I know what it is, but I don't personally.
But
I don't need to be choked.
But I don't think I'll never have another chance because I know I'm not gonna do it myself.
Right.
I'm too much of a scared to try to choke myself and try to choke myself while I choke myself.
That's a good strategy.
But if somebody else is choking me, that'll be my defense to start masturbating. He'll get grossed out, and as soon as he lets go of me, I'll get one good 300-pound punch, bro, in the face.
And then it's over.
Yeah, and then while he's still staring at my penis because while they're still out, that's when I throw in my kick to the groin. And then I shove my hemorrhoid in his nose.
All right, you heard it here, Conor McGregor. We're gonna wait to hear Conor McGregor clap back. History for fools.
Anyways, but let's get back to
Clifton. Let's get back to Gonzalez.
Clifton Collins Jr. Clifton Collins Jr. And anyway, so him and I were reading for Blue Beetle, and I don't know what happened, bro. But of course, they told me like we're gonna go a different direction, you know.
We're gonna go for the
the movie, I think that movie comes out in August 20th, August something, and George Lopez plays the uncle.
Okay.
And they have a lot of great actors. The whole cast is pretty much Latino, and the camera people were all Latino because I was there because they gave me a little small role, anyways.
Right. Is Clifton Collins? Did he get that role? Is he?
No, I just said George Lopez got it.
That role. Okay.
You got hemorrhoids in your ears too, dog.
No. I just thought it was two different
You
roles.
put your finger in there right now.
I thought, never mind. You know what? I'm out of here. Fuck this shit.
You know what I done to when I was 13?
He called me a maricon.
I like having you in a podcast, bro.
Yeah.
You're very insightful when you want to be.
Right. And then sometimes.
Now you're good, dog.
Yeah, thanks.
It's funny, man, but
I like being on your podcast.
We're flowing, right?
Yeah, we're
all
flowing.
Right.
Yeah, no, I love being on the podcast.
Me too. And gives me like when I go, I know you're staying at the ADU, but
at your house.
But you probably get the feeling when you leave Los Angeles and go back to Berkeley where you live.
Yeah.
When you get there, and and you probably hit a bowl or start making something to eat.
Yeah.
You feel like you did something, huh?
Oh, super accomplished.
See, I feel like that.
Super accomplished.
After we do this and I go home.
Yeah.
And I do what I gotta do also.
Right.
I feel like I did something. My day was not a waste.
I feel great. And that's the thing is actually going back home to the ADU. I mean, it's like my third or fourth time there. It's kind of like my second home, so I'm pretty comfortable there too. It's nice, man, because like especially tonight, because like the last few nights, what I would do is I go home and you watch a little TV, listen to my audiobook, and then I'd start dipping into what we were gonna work on today. But tonight is gonna be my favorite night because out of the whole week, because I'll get to just soak in some like good Netflix or. If I brought my console, I'd play video games. But that's when you feel the reward, man. Is when you work really fucking hard. Like we've been digging this stuff up.
I know, man. I think I got my hemorrhoid worrying about what to talk about, because Bush was calling me, man. every time he would call me, I know that he was full of information, and I was that kid that's just gonna put his name at the end of the science project. And I think that's where my hemorrhoids started coming out.
You know what though?
Getting stressed out.
Can I tell you my
What?
stress then too? Because like,
When I don't call you back?
no,
Oh.
I'm like, no, because I know you're
I'm like,
busy.
well, I got nothing.
Bro,
I got nothing.
I know you're busy.
I know, no, it ain't that.
Yeah.
I'm like this, bro. I'm stoned. I got nothing. I ain't even picked up a book. I've been reading El Pocho.
So I don't know. So like you told me the subject, and it was weeks before I called you. Maybe a week before I called you is when I started doing it. I was like, he hasn't heard back from me. I have nothing. He's gonna be so fucking mad, dude. He's gonna be like, let's not do this podcast then. If you're not gonna work, I don't.
That's what it was. On the way, I was stressed out before you got here.
Yeah.
And actually, I have to plane already because we got to go back to business.
Right.
And I was like, fuck, I didn't get no sleep. Blah 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 blah. Fucking Butch has the knowledge.
Oh God, bro.
Butch has the knowledge. Then motherfucker gonna fucking spank me with the fucking history for Latino cinema handbook.
No, because I'm doing the research the night before. Like, listen, I did my best work the night before, cramming. Whenever I like did good in school, which was almost never, the times I did, I'm a last minute fucking person. I did piece everything together that I needed, but to sit down and read it, I have fucking ADD. I smoke weed. I have like Twitch that I do. I have fucking YouTube videos I make, and I'm constantly distracted. And to me, this is very important. So like, I do need to sit down and read it, you know. But no, man, I have the same fears every time too. Like the whole weekend when we were in Tucson, I was like, shit, I got to get on that last fucking thing about those two guys, the two we're going to talk about today. And then yesterday, I was like, I hope he doesn't bring up those two guys because I haven't done shit on those motherfuckers.
So, because we were supposed to, okay, we're going to talk about, so this podcast, this episode, we're going to talk about Pedro Gonzalez,
Right.
who was,
This is kind of a lineage podcast. If you
yeah,
think about it.
and then I had told him to look up Roberto Contreras, who had a son named.
Actually, who has a dad named Luis Contreras.
Okay, Luis Contreras.
Yeah.
We'll get to him later, but Luis
Right.
Contreras, if you watch that movie in Miami, the movie Scarface, he plays Revanga.
Yeah.
There's a photo of him with glasses that Philip just put up. Yes, that guy, Revanga. And he has a son whose name is Luis Contreras, right?
Yeah.
And this guy, man, character actor, he was one of the bikers in Pee Wee Herman, I think. And he was a cholo in Blood Out,
Right.
which, by the way, his dad was in Blood Out, too, as the grandfather.
We'll get to all that.
We'll get to
Yeah.
all their family later, their family. And that Luis Contreras was, put it this way, man, these are character actors that stood out in my life when I would watch movies. And I would say,
Right.
who are these guys? They need to be seen. They need to be shown.
Right.
So, Luis, Robert Contreras, you know, these guys. And last episode, we talked about the two brothers, Roberto and Fernando Almada.
You know what I realized, man? Because the other thing is, too, is I was doing some of the research because we were going to try to squeeze in, I don't know if we have time, but Luchador film.
Just do it now.
So, okay, so we'll jump into this next, and then we'll go to the Contreras.
So Butch, you know, he's from Berkeley, man. Morgan Hill, San Jose, the Bay, bro.
The Bay, bro.
Just say the Bay, bro. And I was telling him about the movie that he watched. Because we spoke to his dad earlier,
Right.
and he gave us information about Pedro Gonzalez and blah blah blah.
Oh, yeah.
And so shout out to Big Robert.
Bob Escobar.
Yeah.
Out of San Jose.
So he actually knows Roberto Contreras. He don't remember when I asked, because we were talking about Pedro Gonzalez at first. Then he gave us a little stuff about that. We'll get to that. But he didn't know who Robert Contreras was till I said that he was in this big Western series on television called High Chaparral.
Yeah.
High Chaparral.
Chaparral.
And then right away that clicked.
Right. He's like, oh, that guy. And in fact, this guy did this. And he goes, he did a lot of cowboy movies. He remembered that. He remembered him being in John Wayne movies. He was Speedy Gonzalez from Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yeah, they use his face for the Speedy Gonzalez cartoon.
Right.
And then
But yeah, what did he say about Contreras? I'm sorry, then I fucked up because I remember my dad had something on him that he had asked. My dad watched a lot of film and TV, and so when we gave him a call, he knew exactly who we were talking about.
your father said that a lot of people don't remember these two guys, and he also said that Pedro Gonzalez career was overshadowed by Cantinflas.
Yes.
But you had something on Robert though. What we had about Robert Contreras?
Yeah. No, that's the thing. So we should go accordingly. So let's go back to Gonzalez real quick.
So anyway, so we'll get back to those guys. But what we're talking about right now is that Butch has never he talked to his father about movies, and I talked to my father never probably, and but my dad will take me to see movies, and he'll make us watch movies at home in Spanish. And also my dad and my grandmother was a big wrestling fan, and my uncle. So there's a wrestler called El Santos, which Bush never heard of because he's all into Hulk Hogan and shit.
Right.
So El Santos was like here in America, like you got The Rock, he makes movies, right? The Rock, right?
Yeah, The Rock. He
Rock
started
Johnson.
out professional wrestling, and then mixed movies and wrestling for a while, and then ended up in movies.
Yeah, but back in the days, man, like if you watch some of the actors, like would always go into movies eventually.
Right.
So like Roddy Piper, and They Live, Hulk Hogan was in movies.
Right. No Holds Barred.
No Holds Barred, badass movie by the way, and
badass movie.
And also The Rock, the biggest, and then also, man, of course, man, who could forget John Cena?
Yeah.
By the way, man, when at first, like, I'm not gonna watch this show, man. I'm not gonna watch this show. Then I fell in love with The Peacemaker, bro.
My girl said it's amazing that I would love it.
You never seen it?
No.
I love it because, yeah, man, dog. Spoiler alert, or yes or no?
Yeah. I love
Dog.
movies for movies.
His dad is the Terminator from his dad is Terminator 2 guy.
No.
Yeah, and he's a racist redneck, bro.
Nice. Okay.
Racist. This motherfucker turned into a racist super villain, bro. He flies like this.
That's how I feel a supervillain should be.
Yeah, but he's racist, dog. Like,
right.
That's the kind of superhero supervillain they needed in Wakanda, bro.
Right. That's the villain they should be fighting, not Mexicans.
Yeah, that's the villain that Namor should be killing, bro.
Right.
So anyways, he goes, but it's funny because that fool racist as fuck, and then like the people that he's with, and John Cena is not seeing it like that no more, right? He's not racist no more, but he still loves his dad, right? And then this scene where this black chick goes, your dad's a fucking racist. Now you really got to get to know him. They have like the relationship, bro, is more like a wrong kid died, like in that movie relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what am I? Anyway,
we're going back to like how
all these wrestlers have movies, but in the 1950s there was a wrestler in Mexico called El Santo,
right?
And this guy was a big time wrestler in Mexico. He wore a silver mask, right? And the reason he wore a silver mask because he was a big fan of The Man with the Iron Mask, the movie and the play,
right?
Where they held that prisoner inside. They held that prisoner inside of the fucking castle with an iron mask, and now he said, "Well, I want to be that guy." So soy el luchador, el santo, el mascarado de plata. So he had a silver mask. So he became like a big time wrestler, like Hulk Hogan and all these cats.
Right.
And then one day, they gave that fool a movie deal.
Okay.
And he started making movies, bro, where he plays a superhero in the movie. Like Like he wears he's a detective too. Like he wrestles at night and fights crime in the morning, bro. Like he might drop kick somebody on and fucking in the ring, but later on he's drop kicking villains. And sometimes the wrestling match will intertwine with his reality in real life. Because sometimes when he's looking for the bad guy, it ended up being one of the bad wrestlers.
Did you watch these when you were
Fuck
growing
yeah.
up? These and you loved these.
Yeah, we have a movie poster here where Santos fights the zombies. And then Santos fights vampires.
Yes,
and there's some hot ass vampires, bro.
Okay, so I'm familiar with this only by this. So I made a flyer for a show one time, and I took that poster of Santos versus the vampires. It's like this hot ass, big titted woman, and I blended all the words into it. And then everybody was like, "It's a dope flyer." But I do remember it. But I never watched those movies when I was a kid.
We saw those movies, and then like I think later on in the '80s, more wrestlers started getting movie deals. Like we saw a movie with a guy that his name is Huracan Ramirez.
Yep.
There it is, Philip. It's called Huracan Ramirez, and he had a blue mask. And this guy, I went to go see a movie where this guy was a star. Right. Oh my God, dog! That movie was badass because in that movie, he had a lot of the guys that are badass at the time in Mexico. Like there was a guy called El Matemático, the mathematician, and that fool, his whole mask was numbers and plus signs, and when he'll beat your ass, he'll count the moves, and then while he's punching you, he goes like he punched you in the face, and then the stomach. 1 + 1 is 3. Bah, bah. 2 + 4 is 6. You know what it is? And then there was another guy with a gold mask, Tinieblas. There it is, Tinieblas. And he wore a gold mask with a black triangle.
Right.
And bro, and there were motorcycles, bro, rolling, dog, in suits, picking up on chicks.
So you talked about Huracan Ramirez, right? So that movie, I don't know if it's the same one, but his movie was considered to be the first luchador movie ever made. And then everything kind of dumped out. There was one in 1953 made.
So Huracan made one back then too, because the one I saw was in color.
So this is 1953. It was considered to some to be the first luchador film. However, Huracan Ramirez.
I guess I was wrong because I didn't know Huracan Ramirez was doing movies back then. Also, Blue Demon.
He's the first one.
Not Santos.
But here's a fun fact about
They're
it.
the same age?
No, it wasn't Santo. Here's the fun fact though, and they are the same age. But he's kind of this movie cracked open the genre of luchador films.
How long did that last?
That lasted till about the 70s.
Awesome.
And it was kind of a gimmick because it was all these wrestlers that were like, let's put together these low budget films. All our friends get to do it, and then we just spit them out one after the other. But
can I add those movies at the time, was just as big as Bruce Lee movies for that crowd.
I mean, you can't bust out. Sorry, let me go back to some of my facts here.
That's why Nacho Libre did well, bro.
Bro, you can't bust out over 150 films within a little bit over like a couple of decades without them being big sellers. The one thing about Huracan Ramirez, the fun fact is that when the movie first came out, he was not a wrestler yet. It was just a movie. It was a fictional movie about a fictional wrestler.
Shut up.
And the movie was so good that the dude was like, fuck it, I'm going to be a wrestler now. And he started being a wrestler. And then he got famous for that. There was a film back in 1938 called Father of More Than Four that was luchador based. But between those two, there was none. So Huracan Ramirez was the pioneer, really, of this whole...
What was the name of the movie again? Luchador what?
Father of more than 4. So in Spanish, how would you say that?
El padre de más de cuatro.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Okay. One.
And then some of these notes, I started to write notes, and then I I looked at the films that were in here, and it's like, I mean, like I said, it's
How many movies did
150
Huracan Ramirez did? He did a lot, huh?
films. We can go look him up right now. Yeah, he did a lot.
Because the one I saw, dude, oh my God, dog, it was so good. And it's funny. Did you watch the clips of it on YouTube? The sound, the crowd sounds real, huh?
Yes, dude.
Like, hey,
Yeah, dude.
Hey,
yeah, they're really good. Like they do. I mean, that's the thing is at that time, cinema was more advanced almost than the United States. The only thing,
and they were not a stuntman. They were the real wrestlers, huh? Doing those hits.
Okay, so that was the thing was after Huracan Ramirez came out, he had a bunch of wrestlers in that movie that were real wrestlers. All of them were like, we should do this more often. And then all of a sudden, it was just like a buddy system. Like you're a wrestler, you bring me on your movie, and then you bring all your buddies. And then I have my own movie, and then I bring you on my movie. And then the ones that were more popular would have more and more. Because
I know that I don't know.
Do you know who Wolf
El Lobo?
Gravinsky?
No.
That's a real Mexican. That's his name. Wolf Gravinsky is a real Mexican wrestler that was really popular. He was in almost all 150 movies.
I know that another wrestler, they used to call him Frankenstein. He was in a lot of them too.
Yeah, there's guys, if you go through the cast on the Wikipedia.
But there was dolls for them. There was little cards, stickers.
Dude, that was the other thing, because when I was looking up
merch, huh?
When I was looking up Chicano Power, one of the only things that I could find on Chicano
was a
Power
wrestler, huh?
Was a figurine that was about $150. And then I started looking through all the figurines. Those things are massive collector's items.
Question.
Yes.
Did that figurine have a little cape?
Yes, it did. It did. It had, dude.
So I went to go see this wrestler one time. I wonder. I don't know if I ever seen him in his own movie or was he co-starring in another movie. Mil Máscaras.
Mil Máscaras. He's in a lot of movies as well. He's in a fuck ton of movies.
Can you like name one and show it to me? Because I want is it black and white or color?
Oh, one of the films?
I think we should get together, bro, and next time we're out of town and watch one.
Yeah, I'm down. Dude, we could do like a video where we watch it and then we comment through it. And we could clip between it. I'm sure that would be...
Because there was a scene that I saw, and it was...
he did 20 luchador action
Oh,
films.
my God, that's a lot. So I was watching this clip on TikTok or somewhere, right? And it was Blue Demon, the Blue Demon, right?
Yeah.
And, you heard him too, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he's been in a ton of movies too, huh?
Right.
And then Mil
Blue Demon's a lot in those.
And Mil Máscaras or El Santos, right? And they walk in, bro, and fucking Santos is wearing a fucking suit with a turtleneck, and Blue Demon is wearing a suit with a vest. And the other one is wearing a badass suit. Then they bring in these hot chicks,
Right.
And it goes, no, esta mía. It was mine. But, there was always those voluptuous chicks in those movies, huh?
Right, yes. Yeah. That was the thing is, like, these movies were very sensationalized of, like, they were, like, it was, like, hot women, lots of action, fucking masked wrestlers, and it was, like,
these movies,
fight scene, a little bit of not fight, more fight, a little bit of not fight, and like you're a kid. I mean, I didn't watch these growing up.
I did, dude.
But I watched. I grew up with like, watching what's his name, the guy with the ponytail, the karate guy. I'm just having
Karate Kid.
I'm just having a brain fart. No, like
Steven
Seagal, and then what's the other guy?
Chuck Norris.
No,
John
the
Van
French
Damme.
guy, Van Damme. So I watched those movies as a kid, and man, those are so fucking entertaining. Like even now,
No Retreat, No Surrender.
fuck, bro, they're so good. They're so good. So like,
Nine Deaths of a Ninja.
so I can imagine watching these and like they're just spitting out action, bro. You just want to go fuck somebody up after watching these movies.
I bet every country that has cinema, whether you're in Colombia, and we already know Bollywood, have their own version of superheroes or that type of movie.
Sure.
Because I know in China and
Oh yeah, Bollywood has
in
it.
Bollywood, there's a movie right now on Netflix called R. It's RRR.
Yeah.
And all right, bro, they try to like. Remember how we said I don't like musicals, but most of Bollywood movies are musicals.
Yes.
I was watching it.
They're very musical.
I was
people.
watching it, bro, and then all of a sudden, it got musical, but they threw it in there subtly, so very subtle to me, dog.
You didn't catch it.
Very subtle to me, like where you're trying to do a dance that's traditionally not your dance, and you're messing it up, but everybody agreeing. But then I I stopped serving drinks for the people, and I stopped being a worker just to let you know how they dance and sing like that in my village.
Yes.
And then half of the people in the movie start doing the same thing too. Fast forward to a fight scene.
You don't sit through the musical part in
Nah,
that regard. No.
Nah, just then I started watching it, but it was a really good movie.
Those movies are. I
It's
mean,
a really
if
good
you like, here's
But
the
they're
thing.
like they have superpowers, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
these guys are famous, just like El Santos
Right.
is famous, and Mil Máscara, those type of movies are famous, and for art, and then you feel good, dog. Like
Right.
that's why you know, like
I love Indian movies because the physics are fucked up in them. Like they're really out of control, and so some people might laugh at them. But I play video games, so the physics are fucked up in video games. And
So-
it'll be like have you ever seen the one where these guys climb up on this catapult?
Yeah.
And they catapult themselves into the like castle, and it's fucking that shit's so good.
the wrestler El Santos and
Yes.
Mil Máscaras, they ended up going after when their careers were done, they ended up going to Japan because those movies played in Japan,
Right.
and they knew about him. Japan is a big wrestling
They
scene,
love
so they
wrestling in
went over
Japan.
there, bro. Like I think Mil Máscaras is in the Japanese Hall of Fame of wrestling, pro wrestling. He is, right? Yeah. So what else did you know about? Did you find out that was new about the history of wrestling movies?
The genre lasted to the 60s and 70s, which is around the same time that the golden age of cinema.
I bet it's funny when you watch those golden age of cinema, they never mention those movies.
No, and what's funny is that these movies sprang out of the golden age of cinema near the end, and they kind of closed off the golden age of cinema. I mean, they weren't the reason why it ended, and that's the thing is that these are two questions that I was happy to tie together for you because you wanted to know why the golden age of cinema ended, and it's really not anything other than the United States. After one of the things that we love in this fucking country is a good war, because after the war ends, what happens? Our economy rebounds immensely.
Yeah.
And so, as Mexico is doing better than the United States as far as like having everything they needed and having supplies, once the war was over, the United States just rebounded economically insanely. And so the supplies came in, and the technology was much larger and much bigger, and it literally crushed the Mexican cinema genre, and the money came out of the bank closed down, everything shut down, and I mean there's still actually really like there's still a good like budding cinema TV scene in Mexico. I mean it's not. I mean, we all know who the characters are. We all watched. I mean, I don't even speak Spanish, and I know who Chapulín is, and Johnny Canales, and and Sabino Gigante, because it's such a
Siempre en
big,
domingo con Raúl Velasco.
it's right, and so like, it's still a pretty big scene. It's still a pretty big, huge community or a big thing, but the United States technology just wasted everybody. I mean,
Yeah, like-
cinematically.
Also, Spanish movies that are made, who are made like the movies you're talking about. They're not advertised in America on our channels. But I know that when I was a kid, the movies that were coming in that were new from Mexico, and they would have to do really, really well in Mexico to be shipped over here. I
Right.
think so. They would advertise them on the Spanish stations. Oh, a new movie with Angelica Maria, or a new
Right.
movie with Flor Silvestre, a movie with Mauricio Garces.
Yeah, like I mean, there's like a movie that what was the name? Gloria.
Beltran.
No, we were talking about her yesterday. But she won a Palme d'Or, and the movie won Cannes Film Festival, and then it opened up in America, and then it did great here, and then that's when she moved from here to from Mexico to here. So I mean, like that was the thing is like yeah, they had to like this community, like America had to accept it, and then it came here. But that's the thing, man, is like you cannot forget either this genre of wrestlers and the golden age of cinema and everything that was wrapped in it, because that dude, we're talking about a major piece of film history that has like led on to what is now. I mean, again, Mexico and again, I can't not forget to say this, but Mexico cinema is budding again. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's called Nuevo Cinema, and you got Gael Garcia Bernal. What's that one dude? Del Toro or not?
Diego Luna.
Yeah, Diego Luna, and who's the guy who made Labyrinth, Pan's Labyrinth? Yeah, Guillermo del Toro. So
William Del Toro.
there's no
Guillermo Del Toro, yeah.
Billy the Bull. But there's no, you can't discount Mexico still. I'm sorry, you can't. It's just not going to happen. And I challenge you now to look into Mexican horror history and all that stuff. All that stuff is inspired American film now. So, you know, whatever it was, it's still a great thing, you know, and I guess empires rise and fall. I don't know what I'm talking about now.
You're on a roll, bro.
Yeah, I was on a roll for a minute, but then I start realizing, like, shut up, you stupid high motherfucker. What are you saying? So yeah, that was Luchador Films.
But they were big, huh? Like I was just thinking right now, wow. Other movies that were shot in the 50s, whatever, they became part of regular Spanish television all over the world, bro. Because most of those movies, I saw them on television.
Right.
I never been to go, except the one with Huracan Ramirez. I saw that at the movie theaters with my dad and them.
That must have been exciting, man. We had it was called Mexico Cinematica or something like that in San Jose. And I remember going by it and seeing, because it said Mexico on it, and it played those films. I had no idea that's what that, because I remember seeing that. I'm like, what kind of theater? I don't understand this theater. You know, being a dumb American kid. And it's like, now that I understand the golden age of cinema and that theater that was in downtown, I really wish that I had watched those movies too. I really wish that I had grown up watching those movies.
We had the $1 Million Theater on Broadway. And sometimes when they will show a movie that was brand new from Mexico, the actors will be there and just wave hi. I guess they were part of the promotion, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess Cantinflas was there one time.
No way.
Yeah, I didn't see him, but my cousin said he saw him.
Well, I mean, he existed in our time for a very long. He died in 1993.
Yeah, man. History for Foos. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody, man? So we talked about the history of wrestling. That was bad, man. And so we're going to talk about an actor. We talked about his grandson earlier, who was Clifton Collins Jr. So
yes.
I picked up this, man. I'm not even going to lie. I'm one of those people that cannot memorize. So I'm gonna save you the trip from going to Wikipedia.com. And if you could just donate money to Wikipedia on our behalf, like $1 or 50 cents, it'll keep their information going. Also, not just Wikipedia, I actually looked it up, and there's a YouTube video of Cuba Gooding Jr., Cheech Marine, and they talk about Pedro Gonzalez. I'm not gonna read it to you, but
you could donate money to Butchipedia too.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the gist of it, you know. And Pedro Gonzalez was born in May 24th, 1925, and he died in February 6, 2006. Was an American character actor best known for his appearances in a number of John Wayne movies. He was in a lot of John Wayne movies. There's a video you could we won't show it to you because we don't want to get shut down by YouTube. We just show you a video, a picture of Pedro Gonzalez, who was he was born in Texas. He was born in Aguilares, Texas, and he passed away in Culver City. In 1953, he appeared on the Groucho Marx NBC television quiz show, You Bet Your Life, and his name under the name of Ramiro G. Gonzalez, where his banter with Marx attracted notice. Marx asked him, "What does the G stand for?" Which he replied, "Gonzalez," and explained that both his parents had a surname Gonzalez before he married. Long, so he kills it, man. He does stand up, and what he does is he does his stand up, and the music plays, and he will play like a little funny little jizz, and he quit school when he was little to go tour with his family. They were a comedy group called Las Perlitas. So, not going to school and touring with the Southwest Texas with his family, he was pretty much illiterate his whole life.
Oh, wow.
Illiterate. So his wife had to read the script to him so he could memorize it.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's crazy.
I know people who could read, bro, that can't make it this far.
That's amazing. Good man. This man is amazing.
He served in World War II as a driver in the United States. And after the war, that's when he started his stand-up comedy career for Spanish-speaking audiences. He killed it so hard on the You Bet Your Life with Groucho Marx that John Wayne saw him and liked him, and he said, "Come here, boy."
Yes.
And they put him in his movies. And he had a guy write a show for him at one time. Some guy named Burt Kennedy. He wrote a show for Pedro Gonzalez, but they never made it. But they wrote it for him.
This might have to do with some of the information my dad gave us, which was that he was, and my dad said that a lot of Hispanic people actually found him. They thought that he was funnier than Cantinflas, but that Cantinflas was so famous amongst white people and Americans that his fame overshadowed Gonzalez's fame. But if you watch the video we watch, there's a scene where he's talking to John Wayne, and Philip, our engineer Philip, had figured it out that they had based the character Speedy Gonzalez after Gonzalez's character from that movie. And if you look at the movie and you look at his hat and you look at the way he looks, it's dead on Speedy Gonzalez. It makes so much sense now. It makes so much sense.
I think Mel Blanc must have used the voice for Speedy Gonzalez, and because I read that he was an extra in the Speedy Gonzalez cartoons.
Oh, was he really?
So he'll play the slowpoke. Okay.
You might have been slowpoke. Those movies were so racist, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't give a fuck because I watched it all the time.
Yeah, everybody wrote, yeah, man, he was playing those stereotypical roles. But how do you know they were stereotypical back then? So, but when Edward James almost said that when he came out on TV, everybody that's Latino wanted to be an actor.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing with you need that, right?
So that was the thing that was noted earlier. We talked about that where it was like people were like, "Oh, he's and that's the thing, man, is that if you sit there and make this comparison between him and Cantinflas, you're like, well, he's just playing the stereotypical Mexican and he's playing into stereotypes and blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck, dude. Pioneers are pioneers. That's one of the first one of us that got on fucking TV, got on national TV. That's inspiring for people who never ever thought that we would get there.
Like like that actress. She played the killer in Selena, Lupe Ontiveros. She played maids probably her whole career.
Right.
But you remember her ass.
Exactly. And that's
she brought life to that role.
But here's the thing, man. Even if like I'm watching it and I go, you know what? This guy's doing this act. And I know I necessarily wouldn't do this type of act. But it does let me know that this could be done. So now I'm going to go out and do it. and that's the inspiration right there. And that's the other thing, man. At that time, it was a very different time than it is now, and things always change. I remember watching Paul Rodriguez as a kid on his HBO special, and it was amazing to me. I get goosebumps thinking about it, because to me that was my first time I'd ever seen one of us do something so enormous and so big. And I mean, I've met Paul a few times. We're on a podcast with him, and even still, when I meet him, it's like, holy shit, because it was such a big deal to me.
I know, man. You're not gonna see more Latinos and stuff till you start supporting the stuff that you never heard of with Latinos in it. Like if you were you guys, like if when Born in East LA came out, there should have been lines around the block.
Yes.
Like we should have been right. It should have been lines around the block to go see that movie. Not just the young fools.
Right.
That movie should have made 200. They should have made 100 million that weekend.
I'll say this too, man. Like, we need to come out. Like, if you look up at the comedy club, and you go, "Oh, I don't recognize this guy's name." But if it's like Gonzalez or Ramirez or Escobar or like any other Hispanic name, go fucking watch that guy, dude. Go support that guy. Support and like.
And if he sucks, tell him.
Yeah, definitely tell him on comments under his YouTube.
Tell him. You got friends?
Do that. See what happens. Tell him under his YouTube channel, and then he's going to get upset, and then he's going to go fucking back home and fucking look in the mirror and go, are you doing the right thing, Butch? Are you doing the fucking right thing right now?
You walk up to him and go, you're not from Alexandria, Texas.
So, yeah. We still have Jaime, the Contreras boys to get to.
Yeah, what you know about them?
Okay.
You should go. You try to get a hold of his Luis Contreras' daughter, huh?
Her name's Marissa Contreras. She's a photographer, professional photographer. So when we first talked about doing this,
yeah.
You called me. We talked on the phone, and you brought these guys up.
Yeah, Roberto. I saw Luis Contreras and Repo Man.
Okay.
He played a security guard, right? And he stood out, bro, because he's a lanky guy, and and then I saw him, and I never forgot him, bro. I was like, wow, I thought he was a cool character, man. He didn't even have much lines. And then I saw him in Blood In, Blood Out, and he puts a gun to Miklo. Hey, you know that cabrón right here?
Yeah. Yes, dude.
Then when I started looking him up, because I was thinking, wow, this could be a nice guy to have on a podcast,
right?
And I looked it up and I found out he passed away.
He did. He passed away at the age of 53.
Yeah. And then when I found out who his dad was, I went to a rabbit hole. That's when I found out that his dad was in High Chaparral and his father plays Revenga.
Well, do you know where a lot of people know him from?
From where?
Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. He's the
biker. The biker.
He's the biker.
Yeah.
And because to me, I remember him from Blood In, Blood Out, most of all. But when I started looking him up, Luis Contreras was from Pee Wee's Big Adventure. And then when you brought him up, we started talking about him. He said that he had a father, and his father was Revenga. And we thought it was just a duo, right? For a minute,
yeah.
I thought it was a duo as well, like a father-son team. And then even when I reached out, so I wanted to ask more questions. I found out he was dead, but I found out that he was survived by his daughter, who was a photographer. I looked her up, found her Instagram, messaged her. I don't think she reads her Instagram or goes on there. Please get back to me still, because we could do another segment on this. But I found out that they both had a dad who was a famous golden age of cinema Mexican director named Jaime Contreras. And there's almost no information on this guy other than he made like some really great films. Man, I think let's see, where are you, Jaime? He made he was a writer. Also, he was a writer in a famous film called The Magnificent Seven. And then
badass movie.
He made and wrote 2 movies called Sangre es las Montanas and Bloody Sea that both won awards. I think like a Golden Bear Award in Berlin or something like that. So this guy Jaime does all
Not
this film
dancing
stuff.
golden bear, right?
Huh? No, not a dance. It's a silver bear. The Berlin Film Festival,
The
actually,
big one, man.
through finding out all this. The other thing is, too, shout out to German people. They love Mexican cinema. Like, huge, huge. It's like one of the biggest markets. Argentina and to this day, Argentina and Germany consume Mexican cinema all the time.
Bro, when I went to do my show in Rotterdam,
Yeah.
but I was in Amsterdam, bro. I was hanging out as soon as I started talking, these fools, these Sikh guys, you know, the guy with the big long hair, the Sikh guy that wear the turban.
Yes.
They're Sikhs, and the Jamaican guy, they were smoking a spliff.
Okay.
One guy had a joint with just tobacco, bro, flavorless tobacco, full of black hash, bro, like.
Nice.
And then the other friends, they had a joint with hash and tobacco, and then the other guy had a joint with just hash. Bro, I hit all of them.
Fuck yeah, you did.
I hit all of them, bro.
Right.
Then when I'm like this, they just want to hear me talk.
How fucked up did you get?
They real fucked up, bro. They want to hear me talk because I was from East Los Angeles. And then when it got more comfortable, they started quoting Blood In, Blood Out subtle to me. They were like this, ¿Qué onda? ¿Qué onda? They were like, La Onda, La Onda. Then they go, ¿Me entiendes?
No way.
And then it goes, oh shit, Blood Out, yeah!
Yeah, there's the
They go, I love that movie.
Fuck
They go,
yeah.
yeah, we love that movie. He goes, is that where you're from? Fuck yeah, bro. I know exactly where that is.
Hell yeah.
Man, if you ever go over there, hit me, I'll take you.
Yeah.
Then he goes, oh, we love that movie. He goes, American Me. He goes, Lowrider. They were like this, bro. And they were like, let me tell you, bro. Mexican culture, both, because they're two different cultures, huge all over the world, bro.
Right.
Huge, bro.
Huge.
They might not like the salsa, but they like the culture.
You know what? I feel like in America, it's I'm trying to not sound offensive to white people right now, but to white people, we're not shit because we're all here. We're here all the time. There's 3 channels at least dedicated to us on their TVs. That bothers them, and so there's not such a big deal. But I've been to other countries, and as soon as people find out I'm Mexican, it's like that's a bigger deal than that I'm from California or from the United States or that I'm even a comedian or an entertainer. So
those guys gave me street cred just from being from Los Angeles and Boyle Heights. Like, bro, you got street cred. You got the juice.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I told you about when I was in Japan. I got kicked out of that one bar, and as I'm walking by, this guy pokes his head out, and he's like, "Hey, where are you from?" You know, he's a Japanese guy, and I go, "I'm from the United States." He goes, "Where in the United States?" And I'm all, "You know where San Francisco is?" He goes, "Oh, I love San Francisco. Steph Curry #1, Steph Curry." And he's like, "Come in my bar." That guy took care of me, got me drunk, and fed me for 3 days because I stayed down the street from his bar.
They went broke, huh?
I always ate before I went in there just to be kind.
Man, so yeah, dude, like I'm pretty sure like a lot of the movies that kind of make it out of America that are Mexican American based, you know, or that type of, that to be a badass movie.
Right.
Once it makes it to Europe or Japan or, you know, it is huge, bro.
You know where Born in East LA Born in East LA does the most. This is a fun fact that I learned a long time ago. It gets the most revenue for play is in a little island off the coast of Japan called Okinawa.
And they love it?
They love it. The other thing is that they have a whole scene of these Japanese dudes who look like cholos. They dress like cholos. They have tattoos like cholos. They drive lowriders.
They do the guy, what's happening?
Yeah, and they love those guys.
Dude, Lisa and I were at the Halloween parade in Santa Monica, and she could pop her head in right now and tell you, bro. I was fanboying, bro, because there were these 3 Asian guys,
yeah.
And they were dressed like the Asian guy from Born in East LA.
Oh, really?
And they were like, when we passed by, we said, "What's happening?" And those fools opened up the
fanboying too, dude.
I'm fanboying hard, bro. They opened up the shirts. He goes, "What's happening?"
I'd be fanboying so hard.
And I took a photo with them, bro.
Dude, all they needed was that cop at the end.
Tight, dog. Hey, go Raiders.
Yeah. That movie's an underrated good, one of the best movies ever, man. Especially for our like growing up, dude. All that stuff, man. I remember Paul Rodriguez with the beer. Ah, that shit's so good, dude.
One time, somebody, maybe it was Joy Medina, bro. We were talking about to Cheech Marine. He was all high, and in Miami, we were doing the South Beach Comedy Festival, and he asked him, man, what was it like? Hey, what was it like? Making Born East LA, because Joy Medina's a filmmaker too.
Right.
He said, I'll tell you what's it like. You gotta learn how to. You start eating shit. You start eating so much shit that after a while it starts tasting good.
That's heartbreaking. Fuck.
Because it was hard, I guess. And then Paul
Yeah,
Rodriguez.
because Paul Rodriguez, when he did that movie, was a big. He had already did his HBO special.
Yeah, that was Cheech saying that. They want to ask Paul Rodriguez about
That was Cheech saying that. Really?
Yeah, that was Cheech.
No way.
You gotta start eating shit to start tasting good. Cause you gotta put up with so much stress while making a movie.
Oh yeah, okay, all right.
So you're eating shit,
I can see that.
It's a metaphor.
Sure. I can see that.
It's a metaphor. They would do history metaphors for you.
I know what a fucking. I can still see. I just feel like you got your own movie though. You know
Boy,
what I mean?
when I talked, we were talking to Paul one time too about the movie that he did, which was I forgot what movie that Paul directed too. A Million to Juan.
Oh, I love that fucking.
He
movie.
said, yeah, check out A Million to Juan, man. That's he. And not enough people went to go see that movie. I went to go see it when it came out because I love Paul, want to support, and it's a good movie.
Right.
You got to go out there and support these movies if you want to
have
see
to.
more.
You have to.
The movies that we talked about, like Santos and all those movies in Mexico, they did real well because people went to go see those movies.
Out.
They were not standing in line to see From Here to Eternity.
Well,
they were not standing in line to go see.
Mexico film's still doing well because Mexicans in Mexico.
Yeah, that's what I'm
see
saying.
Their films.
But they do so well over there
Right.
that they come over here. If we will support our movies that are made here, support the good ones,
Right.
and everybody go see it.
Yeah.
Then you'll see more.
Yeah, that's the thing is, there needs to be some representation on the other side of us where it's like, you guys show up, man.
So-
Like I said, if there's a movie that has one of us in it, go watch it.
So
Unless it's us beefing with other minorities, like fucking stupid ass fucking, what's it called? Wakanda forever.
So when we were talking to Paul Rodriguez about A Million to Juan, I think maybe it was a different time, and they asked him. It was not an interview. It was just us comics. Was it hard to make A Million to Juan? And he goes, "It's funny, man. Paul's so funny with his answers." He said, "I had to ramble up everybody I ever did a show for their quinceañera or wedding to return that favor." Hey, remember I performed your wedding? You're in my movie.
I love Paul for that. That's great. That's fucking funny.
So that was the Roberto Contreras.
Right.
I mean, he was big, right?
The thing was is that, so I don't know if you'd call them big, but they did a lot of films.
Put in work.
But two of them, yeah, and I mean they were characters.
Because they could have hired a white guy to do that, right?
Could have hired a white guy.
But they knew the cadence. Everything about this guy is real.
Man,
You can't make it up. They were doing it on their own.
This is one of those things where it's like, these are one of those like little careers that someone has, and they're very notable. Like that's the thing is like I don't know what to call it because it is a big deal, man. Like to be an extra or play a part in a movie, or like the fucking bad guy number 2 or bad guy number 3, just to get one of those is really hard. And they're hard. Like, dude, working those.
You know how hard it is to be bad guy number 4.
Bro, those gigs
You want to be bad guy number 1.
Let me tell you something. I know you've done this.
I was saying, you know how hard it is to be bad guy number 4? Because the whole time you want to be bad guy number 1. And bad guy number 1 wants to be the guy that has lines.
But I think it's something that you could relate to is like when you're doing those roles, they want you there at 7, 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I think I've even had a call time of 4 in the morning. And then you don't even really start working till like 10 o'clock in the morning. And then you work all day. You work 12 hours shooting the same shit over and over. And as the actors and everybody else gets to do what you want to do, that guy's standing there the whole time.
And, oh man, and if it's a low budget movie, check this out. We gotta stop. Why? The camera battery is wasted. Did you have another one? We're gonna go buy. We just sent the runner to go buy one right now at Best Buy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It happens all the time. And as the actors get to break off and do their thing, go get food because they have stand-ins, the guys like Robert Contreras and Luis Contreras have to fucking stand there. And they did get some good speaking roles. They probably made some great money in Hollywood. But my testament to them is that they're two of the hardest working dudes. And their careers were.
Those guys set the way. They set the pace, man, for all the character actors you see right now, like Emilio Rivera.
Right.
People say that he always plays cholos. Hey, guess what? He's a real cholo.
What do you want that guy to be?
What else do you want him to be?
You want him to play a fucking president of the United States or like some fucking like a fucking butler? No, like dude, that's the other thing is like I'm a big, huge fucking burly guy, and I always get the big, huge burly guy. Like extra roles or character roles in commercials and TV, I'm never upset about. I'm never like, when am I gonna get the fucking hot guy at the pool? Like, I know what I am.
Yeah.
I look like a fucking half a Sasquatch, half a human fucked. You know, like I get all that. So
You look like a turtle, bro, that they took the shell out of him.
no, I don't.
You look like a shark walking on his fins.
All right, history for fools.
But you know,
History
right?
of Felipe fucking talking shit to Butch.
Like me, man, like I know when I go read and I see the people that are fat, with long hair,
Right.
glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I gotta compete with ugliness.
Yeah, yeah, he was that guy.
I always feel like they're the ugly ones. Eh?
I always thank God when I see people uglier than me.
Bro, I went to audition once, and I think they were auditioning the black girl and what is that car? That death car? That movie with Quentin Tarantino when there's a Kurt Russell is driving a car.
Death Race.
No, and he kills girls inside of his car.
Oh, that's that grunge theater or that
Death car.
Death Car. Grindhouse.
Grindhouse. Yeah. So I think they were casting the curly hair black girl in that movie when I got there, right?
Right.
Because there was a lot of light skinned girls with curly hair.
Right.
Right. And I showed up with my hair. And I remember sitting down and I looked at the ladies and I went, "You guys don't have a chance tonight." And they all laughed and I threw them off character, bro.
That's great.
But yeah, I remember. But it's weird, man, when they I will read for something else, totally.
Right.
Sometimes when I go read for something, I'm the only one. I feel like they already cast it, but they want to show that they send people out.
Yeah. Well, I remember showing up with you to one with Dusty Vada there, and I was like, this is the same guy, but a spectrum of this guy.
You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Well, hey, he went to me to an audition, right? And we get there, and of course, I meet Dustin Ibarra there, and I go, "What?"
Yeah.
And man, we were dressed the same.
And like I said,
He was late, I was late.
This is the spectrum of the same guy here. It's just like a little smaller, like skinnier version of this, and then the larger, taller version.
So I read first, and I'm pretty sure Dustin Ibarra, there's a photo of him. He showed up right after me, and he said, "Wow, we just saw your dad. Your dark dad."
Your dad was just here.
You ever been to of course, you've been to auditions when they're looking for the guy you were describing, right?
Yeah.
And you see fools there that just got bald today or just got a beard last year.
Right, yeah. I see those guys. One of the most unique things that ever happened to me was like I did this audition and there was this commercial called Hightail. It was encrypted like data sharing thing or something. And I think they called me into the audition on accident.
Oh,
because I showed up and it was all these little guys with like short hair and like, they look like East Coast looking dudes, and they were definitely not at all near what I look like. And then when I showed up into the audition, they were like scrambling through their like papers. They're like, "Where are you going?" And the director goes, "Hey, Butch, right?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Do me a favor," and he writes a bunch of stuff down on a paper and he hands it to me. He goes, "Read this for me," and I read it for him. And he goes, "Try it again this way, and then try it again that way." And he goes, "All right, thanks, man." And I remember thinking, like, what a waste of time. I got called back. It was one of the biggest commercials that I did. I made the most money off of that commercial. Like, it was a great commercial. And when it happened, and I ended up talking to the director, is that he had this other side idea that he was working out in his mind. And when he saw me walk in, even though I wasn't supposed to be there, I fit the description of the other idea. So he went with that one, and then they ended up redoing the commercial. So you never know. You never know.
you never know, man. History for fools. Butch Escobar, Felipe Esparza.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta do things like that, man. But sometimes it's a little funny and crazy. Like, oh, I can't believe the guy's doing this right now at the audition.
Right.
I love telling this story because it's true. I was auditioning with a bunch of guys with beards, and they were like, not yours,
Right.
but just a beard. They wanted the grungy, like a guy, like Shadow, like whatever.
Like the 5 o'clock shadow
Yeah.
types? Okay.
Yeah, so I show my shit, right? There's a bunch of dudes there that I recognize, and Joy Medina's there with no beard. No beard, bro.
Okay.
And they started reading, he started reading the thing, Brad. His agent probably just sent him. They want a Latino.
He's probably just pushed
He
him out there.
just didn't. He didn't read the whole prescription probably. But they were auditioning. Because Adam Carolla had a show, a reality show with his friend, who's Mexican, and he's a construction worker. Like he's the main guy that runs the lead construction worker with Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla is a construction worker too. Go check out the Adam Carolla podcast if you have a chance. And I'm on it, like I'm in 2 episodes, and I'm gonna be on again in February. He was auditioning for a show where they're looking for a character to play his real guy, because the guy's real.
Wow, okay.
It's a friend of. It's a reality show. Really, Lisa used to watch it with a Mexican guy with him, and they do construction. But the guy had to have a 5 o'clock shadow,
Okay.
and Joe Medina had that 5 o'clock shadow.
Didn't have it.
So we're talking, we're looking around, he's getting nervous, thinking about what he's gonna do now.
Right.
Bro, he goes back to the receptionist and grabs his 8x10 and borrows a Sharpie and goes back to sit down and starts drawing a beer on his 8x10.
Joey Medina did this.
Philip, if you can have a little video right now of the magnet making a beard, eh?
Was he doing it ironically, or was he?
Bro, he was doing it
was
like
he really trying to get the audition?
yeah.
He's really.
Because he looked at us, and then he looked at the 8x10s.
Bro,
they're all beards.
You're dead anyway. You might as well try something. You might, dude, pull something out of your ass.
So he got it like this, bro, and that fool shaved. He made a beard, bro, and turned it in, bro. I'm gonna look like Hercules now, bro.
That is fucking fabulous, dude.
He looked like the fucking zigzag man with that beard.
I love that he did that, dude. I assume he didn't get the part.
I didn't get either.
That's great.
Joe Medina would like to double down, bro.
Oh my god, I love it. That's a great one.
He did that. Joe Medina, by the way, man, if you guys don't know him, he's a stand-up comedian. He's been a boxer. He's been a cop in Tucson. He's a Renaissance man.
Yeah, he's a Renaissance man for sure.
And
I did a couple shows with him. He's a good dude.
he has a movie that I'm in with a lot of the comedians, man. And we none of us did quinceañeras for him.
Right. What
He
movie
never
was that?
sang at it was called El Matador.
Okay.
And right now he also has a movie that's up for it already had like 5 awards. It's a horror movie.
Oh, what movie's that?
I don't know the title, bro.
Okay.
But look it up and Joy Medina's IMDb, baby.
I'll do that.
History for Fools, what's happening, man? Oh, man. I'm going to try to name all the Latino actors I can name right now who are from a Mexican-American. Not Antonio Banderas because he's from Spain.
Right. That's the other thing, was having to divide up some of these guys because the book that we read.
All Spaniards, huh?
So, first of all, let me give a shout out to Fat Ralph. First of all, thank you for all the information you gave me. But the book that I got, Latinos in Hollywood, that you had recommended to me, was a great book. The writer did a great job. I only have one real what do you call it?
Gripe.
One gripe, man, and that was so let me just pull the book up real quick. And get this guy's name. Viva Hollywood. The book was called Viva Hollywood.
Viva Hollywood. I would like to
and
be in a movie soon.
Me too.
I could pay a garden
and it was by
picker,
a guy named
cholo
Luis
stabber.
Reyes. Now, my only gripe was that he included actors that were from Spain. And to me, if you're from Spain,
¿Por qué?
sorry, Spanish people, you're not Latinos. You're from Europe.
¿Por qué? He was my only son.
And so,
G-Pompa.
other than that, he, because he said like Rita Hayworth is a Latino, and it's like, and she came with a different name, and she moved here, but she's from Spain, and I'm like, that's not a Latino to me. That's not someone that I feel like I can identify with.
Yeah.
And even with some of the golden age of Mexico actors, I had a hard time trying to. I mean, we
How about when they're naming actors and then you heard people that you thought were white like Raquel Welch?
Yeah, that's one of them too, and that's the other thing is like, listen, man. Good for
I noticed that a lot of these old actors,
right?
they start being Latino once their career is done. Eh?
Like Joe Namath, bro. I'm like, okay, Joe Namath is Mexican, but
He's Mexican?
yes, dude.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and this is here's the thing, man.
He never wear a sombrero.
My mom used to say this. It maybe in other countries it matters, but in America, if you look white, you're white. If you don't, then that's when they treat you like a second-class citizen. So Joe Namath's Mexican, good for him. But I'm sure he didn't go around telling people I'm fucking Mexican. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta put it this way, man. Like we were making a pirate movie in 1950. This is how it'll be. Bush, pirate automatically. Felipe, the guy rowing the boat while he gets whipped.
Yes. Or you're gonna die. You're definitely dying.
I'm
quick.
the guy that shows up and the island and goes, ho, 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 ho.
You know what I see you in though? I also see you in Western with the bandoleros and like the poncho, and you're like, yeah, you're like, we don't like you, we're gonna kill you, and he's like, you know what I mean, like.
Badges? We don't need no stinking badges.
Yeah, definitely you would be that
The
guy.
Treasure of Sierra Madre, a badass movie.
Badass movie.
With Humphrey Bogart. Oh, it's a good movie, dog.
So you want to go through some actors?
Yes.
Actors' names? I mean, you know, there's Benjamin Bratt, Jimmy Smits,
Eric Estrada, of course.
Eric Estrada was mine.
Emilio Rivera. Danny Trejo. Noel G. Noel G. Again, Noel G.
Noel G is, dude, we should have did more. We should have. Noel G is one of those guys that's like in every Cholo game, every Cholo. And it's like.
Hear the great story, bro. I had Noel G on the podcast, and guess what he told us?
What?
He said that his mom and dad abandoned him, bro, when he was like 12 or 13 years old. His mom and dad, a friend of them called him and said that he became instantly rich and he was going to sail around the world. Would you guys like to come? And they went with his mom and dad, took off with that rich guy to hang out, and they left him behind in the house with nothing. They just took off.
No.
And he was living in the streets,
Look
bro.
at him now, though. Look at him now. And again, there's a character actor who doesn't probably mind being the character actor because he makes a fuck ton of money doing what he does.
And his name is Noel in every movie, right?
Right. His gang name.
Cholo.
But the other thing is, another one is Anthony Quinn. Anthony Quinn's from Mexico. Anthony Quinn.
I can't think of her name right now, but she's the actress that came out in Predator 1. She was like the jungle girl, the Salvadorian girl in the jungle. She's been in a lot of movies. She's a great actor.
Which one's that one? What movie?
Predator.
Oh, what is her name?
She's been in a lot of stuff. She's a badass lady. You know what's funny though, bro? Me and Lisa, for a long ass time, she thought that Conchita Alonso was an alien and she was badass, but ended up being another lady.
Oh, really?
The stepmom in Terminator 2. She played Sanchez in Alien, but it was a Jewish lady.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
But it's not Maria Conchita Alonso, bro. She's not a Latina, that lady.
She's not?
No. She's a Jewish lady.
What did she do? Change her name?
No, that was just for the movie.
That's crazy, dude. Holy shit. Mind blown once again. Yes. Oh yeah, he totally is. He's half Mexican as well. Yeah, no, my mom used to have a poster about him and
Maybe because right now I'm
his
a
life on her
hungry
wall, and she
Maybe
was
right
like-
now because I'm a Hungarian Mexican.
Yeah. Okay.
Makes it even
I could
worse.
be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think I had to do. I know that was a big.
You got the
deal
voice
when I
of the voice of God, and we feel a wedge telling you, bro. I don't know.
I know. I'm very aware of that. So I'll yield.
History for fools.
History for fools.
We are fools.
History for fools. Thanks for watching. Big shout out again to Fat Ralph. Thanks for the information. Bob Escobar, my dad. Thanks for the information. And hey, man, everybody who comes up after the shows and especially when they're like, "Hey, I love History for Fools." That shit makes me feel like 100%, man. I love you guys. $1,000,000. It makes me feel so good. Thank you for watching. Keep watching.
Thanks for listening, man. Don't forget to subscribe to History for Fools. Also, to find all my dates for my shows, go to Felipe'sWorld.com/tour, the Big Food Tour. Butch is in some of the shows. You would have to go to his page to find out if he's in a show.
Yeah, I always post my shows.
And also, history of Thanks for listening. And if we come back, the next episode, it'll probably be about pirates, or it'll probably be Mexicans and pirates. But it's gonna be either more of Latin cinema. Pirates. We got off character for a while, but thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. You have a website or just Instagram?
Check out ButchEscobar.com, or Instagram is where I post a lot of my stuff too. And check out my YouTube channel.
Also, if you want to help me out, go watch that movie, You People, with Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy.
Definitely.
And then you go to Kenya Barris, the director of the movie, and you go email him and tell him, "Oh man, I love Felipe in that movie.
Felipe was my favorite part of your whole movie."
Oh man, I love that cameo.
Yeah.
History for Fools.
Thanks for watching.